Welcome to another episode of the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. Hope everybody's having a great night and enjoying our amazing Halloween theme that our engineering room, that's what I'm going to call tech now, put together for us for this very spooky month. We just got rated right at the beginning.
Hi
there. As I reached down to the table and grabbed dice, innocently. Hi, guys.
Always something.
Yeah. Welcome to the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We just started the stream for it tonight. We are a weekly actual play for D&D 5e in a homebrew world, and we're part of Mythical Family, a little group based out of Reno, Nevada. And our entire mission is to create diverse, inclusive spaces for gamers of all types. And we're in the middle of moving to a new studio here in town and have a whole bunch of cool projects. D&D is just one of the few things that we do. But if you like what you see, stick around. We're about to start the episode for the night. If you like what you see, hop on our socials, say hi to us, and especially swing by our Discord, where you can chat with all of us and share amazing memes and just have a good times. But thank you so much for the raid, and hope you all stick around, get to watch the show, enjoy it, and have a good night. We left off last time in a very intense... Yeah, you know what?
How did that happen?
You know, yeah, no, you, not me.
I'm just looking at you like, deal with it.
Yeah, I will deal with it. So we left off last time in the city of Windsor, the so-called City of Wonder, with our amazing group of adventurers. And they traveled to the city of Windsor for a couple of different reasons, but the main reason was to locate Giovanni di Castel, a very enigmatic man with a colored history of being a bard, or at least we thought he was just a bard. And they were after Giovanni, or trying to find Giovanni for Gaspard, because Giovanni is Gaspard's long-lost father figure. At least that's what everybody knows so far about him. I don't think you've let on too much else. Giovanni also has some connections to other members of the party through romantic means as well, much to the chagrin of of their child, or at least their adopted child.
Don't say their child like plural. Like...
Yeah.
Listen, this is where I just tell you I am your mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm younger than you, so it couldn't have been me.
Just the possibilities. So after spending a day and a half in the city of Vinzor and causing quite a lot of trouble poking their nose around and going investigating in places they shouldn't have been, and not taking the hint when notes were slipped under the door of their tavern room in the Brave Caterpillar. See, this is what the DM gets for forgetting their laptop and only having minimal notes.
You should have planned better.
I should have planned better, yes. They had multiple chances to leave town. They had notes slipped under their door telling them to leave, and everybody wanted them to just get out because tonight there is a massive party where the Haven Stouts, the family that runs this town, if you could call it that, it's pretty much just a training academy built for adventurers that line up with their slightly gray ideals. They're hosting a massive party with dignitaries from all over the world, and they want these unscrupulous individuals out of town so they don't cause trouble. For good reason, because they were planning to burn the town down and try and get
Someone was
attention.
threatening it.
Some of them were threatening it.
It was not being planned.
And eventually,
It was a tactic.
and eventually, they did attract the attention of Giovanni, who is working for the Haven Stouts for some reason right now and has been for a while. So we ended last session with a dramatic scene where the party was about to leave their tavern, or their inn room in the tavern, and the door was flung open. Fesfi, I believe, grabbed Sani and pulled her out of the way. Giovanni burst into the room, threw his jacket over two of the party members, and threw down a small satchel of multitude of things, including clay and chalk, that threw a fine mist into the air and blinded the rest of the party. And then when the smoke settled, there was a flintlock pistol that had just been cocked, pushed against the face of Gaspard, who did not look like Gaspard at the time, or did not look like any version of the changeling that Giovanni has seen before. And Giovanni told you, well, didn't tell you, but said, "Why won't you leave?" And what was the response that we got?
Oh, I don't want you here anymore.
Yep. And then it was quickly revealed with you changing shapes. Sorry, I just heard a sound off screen. With you changing shapes, that you are, in fact, Cree from Giovanni's life many, many years ago, which caused the man to drop his weapons to the ground and sink to his knees when his former adopted child pulled away from him. So that is exactly where we're going to pick up tonight. So everybody, I believe you, I think it was you and, no, it was you and Vander that had the coat thrown over you, but you had quickly pulled it off, and the clay has settled into the room, and Fesfi and Sani stepped back into the room, so there's quite a crowd in here now.
Yeah, Vander and I are just on the couch, like under Giovanni's coat. Tea has appeared, and we're just watching.
I think there was tea right before you decided to head out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're trying to
because
calm
you're
you
down.
trying
just
to
made tea,
yeah.
yeah. So after the brief exchange where Giovanni gruffly asked, "Why won't you leave?" and you offered some sass in return, and then once you changed shape, the poor man's heart broke, and I believe the line was something along the lines of, "Cree, my darling," and then you pulled away and said, "I don't want you there anymore, or don't want you here anymore." So, and then Giovanni had gestured for Fesfi to shut the door and had offered to explain themselves. So we'll start there with any questions that Cree might have. So Giovanni is in the middle of the room, on his knees, guns next to him, looking a mix of angry, distraught, forlorn. There's a bead of sweat on his brow, and he's looking at Cree, who looks like what right now?
A androgynous little chaos demon, pale white hair, black eyes, wearing a just ravishing outfit for their previous persona of Sonia, and just kind of standing there with trying to maintain kind of like a crooked smile of anticipation as to indicate, go on.
So you're not going to ask a question then? You're just looking at him expectantly?
Yeah, I think, so why did you leave?
It's not an easy thing to answer in a few sentences, but in short, I was doing it to keep you safe. If I would have stayed, you would have died before you had much of a chance for a life beyond what you had known. So I did, honestly, the hardest thing that I've ever done, and I left.
Why didn't you tell me?
To be fair, I did tell you, and we had quite a long conversation and an argument about it before I left. You wouldn't remember, though.
What?
Fesfi kind of coughs behind next to Sonny and takes a few steps forward and like walks up like right behind Giovanni and crosses her arms over her chest and goes, "It is my fault that you don't remember anything about it. You've met me before as well.
What?
I am a friend of your father's, and we served together in the war in Alsap many years ago when we were both soldiers. And one of the abilities that my monastery bestows on certain members of it is the ability to manipulate the mind on certain levels. The argument you had only lasted, I think it was, what, 3 minutes? And Giovanni kind of nods up at her. I was able to use a manipulation of your energies to block the memory out, and that is why you woke up, or at least your memories resume in that alley and you do not know where Giovanni was. You only met me during that short period of time when I had showed up to leave with him. But you've technically met me before, and you did have a long argument with him that frankly was going nowhere, because neither of you could convince each other of anything, which makes sense to me.
Good God.
I'd be happy to re-explain why I made the choice and what was going on. It's just going to put you in even more danger, like being here puts you in danger.
Well, in your absence, we are now the heroes of Orshire, and we are dedicated to saving this place. So danger or not, we're going to be here for a while. And more danger, I mean, bring it on.
Cree single-handedly defeated a hag.
He pulls up like the bottom of their shirt, and you see like the like still healing wounds of the claws that went into their torso.
And you see Giovanni's face, like, and Fespi has a more minor reaction, but Giovanni's like face just shock when he sees the wound, and you see that he starts to make a move towards you, and then doesn't, and then goes, that's amazing. You've definitely developed your combat skills. A hag.
Yeah, it was a gift of the Haven Snouts.
It was a gift? What do you mean? I'm not following.
I think we should explain from the start.
I think there's explaining to be done on both sides then, because I haven't heard of the heroes of Orshire or this hag.
And it's very recent news.
All right. Well, then where do we start?
Let's start with why you abandoned Cree.
Is it okay if we call you that? Or do you want us to call you Gaspard or Sonia or any of the others?
Cree is fine.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Thank you.
And I can still call you that?
Yeah.
Like I said, this isn't an easy conversation, and actually, before we have this conversation, Vespi, would you mind, just in case anyone is listening from the castle or anywhere else? And she nods and she moves over kind of back towards the door and reaches inside her Haven Stout armor and pulls out a small scroll and quickly reads from it. And you all, everybody here is attuned to magic in some way at this point, and you all feel just kind of a brief flicker and a rush of it through the room and see a opalescent sheen go over every single surface and then fade. And even if you haven't cast a spell before, you all can kind of catch on it's probably something like silence or something that blocks scrying of some level. And the scroll just kind of evaporates and orange sparkles from Fesfi's fingertips, and she shakes them off and walks back over to Giovanni. Thank
that
you.
feels strange.
Yes, it's one from a dear friend of mine. It should make sure that if anyone was listening to you or following me, that they are not able to listen. And he shifts and pulls his legs up and kind of just sits on his butt, brings his legs up and kind of like relaxes on the floor a little bit, grabs the guns and puts them back into the holsters in his side. So if you want to start from the beginning, I was a soldier of Alsop. I fought in one of the many wars against the Kingdom of Kor, and we were quite successful. And by the time that I was 21, I was back in the capital, and I was a hero. I didn't have to work, I didn't have to do anything I wanted to at that time for the first time in my life. And it was quite wonderful, and that's what led me to becoming an entertainer, because I had all the time and money and some fame after my time in the service, and after that time I didn't want to do anything with my life that wasn't fun. So that's what led me down the path of being a performer. And that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. But once you're involved in a military complex of some type, even if they say that you're done, you're never really done. And when you happen to have made a name for yourself, even doubly so. So you met me, I met you, during my true years as a bard and the true years as an entertainer, which I still am, technically, and it still is my passion. But I was a skilled gunslinger, and one of the best, I'm told. I put these away a long time ago, which is why you never saw them. But one night, many years ago, in that city that we were in together, word came from the capital that my skills were needed once more. It wasn't all sap, though. And that's the piece that I'm a little shy on explaining more in depth. But through a series of magical means that are not my fault, I was bound to some individuals and have to do what they say. And after I do enough of the things that they want, I'm free. Killing you is one of the things that they wanted, Cree. So when that order came down, I was reactivated. I was given my guns. Thesfi is the one that showed up with them. She, too, is under this command. But as we served together, and she was my commander in the war, we have a different relationship, and she helped me fake your death in a way. At least in a way that convinced them that we had killed you. So we left. You woke up in that alley, regained consciousness, and thought that you had just lost me in the crowd, most likely, I assume. And then we went on our way to the next mark. And for the years between when I saw you and now, I've had wonderful times of actually getting to live my life and being a performer as much as I can, and then mixing that with killing targets I am assigned or doing things that I am told to do to pay my debt. And the Haven Snouts should be the final one, which is why you find me in this city now, Cree.
It used to be a lot more tricky.
When you're locked under a magical spell that will burn your brain out if you don't do what the caster tells you, it limits how tricky you are. But you're right. I've probably gotten slow and dumb with some of my age.
So it's not the Haven Snouts that...
No. No, this is a cult, a coven, and Thespi kind of like shakes her head in disagreement and goes, it is a council of individuals, as far as we've been able to tell with our research and our own scouting. They operate all over the world, but it is the same 4 individuals. They issue orders through a series of spells. Sometimes we've seen them in person, but they always wear different outfits and we don't see their faces. But during the war, some of us were selected from different units to be an elite, I suppose, intrusion force into core to assassinate targets. And these individuals were brought in by our commanders to enhance our abilities with spells. We thought it was something akin to Bless, or many of the common spells that everyone is familiar with, but it was more military grade, we were told. Whatever they cast on us did the job during the war, but it also bound us to them in a way that was not revealed till many years later. and it left physical, permanent, magical bindings on our bodies. And if we don't do what they say, they can kill us.
Good gods.
Over time, the more things we do, the more requests we fill, the bond weakens, and eventually it will break.
So you're here for the Havenstowns, to help them.
No, we are here to kill them.
Oh. Well, that's simple enough.
I don't know how you think it's simple when I've been here this long and Vespi's been here this long trying it. It's taken this long to get this close to them because of how paranoid they are, apparently with good reason. But they're horrible people. And Doraman and Dabver, they take no precaution. And it's taken years to worm myself into the position that I am now. And he reaches over and like goes for his coat, and the coat's not there, and he looks over at those two and then points at the badge. This has been the longest con that I have ever been involved in. And I'm still not quite there to be able to kill them all in one fell swoop, but I have been doing things I don't want to do to earn their trust, as has Fesvi.
What if you had a few more hands?
Maybe.
You're actually about to get a whole lot more hands. Due to events on our end that we'll backtrack to, Orishire has put out a general call for all adventurers and assassins to come after the Haven Snouts.
I forgot about that.
You forgot about that.
A lot's happened!
How, why would
actually,
Orishire do that? That's pretty much opening them up to warfare.
The hag?
Yes, you mentioned
Yeah,
the
the
hag, but
hag.
what about the hag?
We're pretty sure it was from here. They were giving it ghoul dust from the barrows.
The wagons that you had coming out of that mine were going to Orishire, and they had a bakery that they were baking the ghoul dust into. And they were using that to track the people that ate it, and then they ate them.
They put crypt dust.
Eat their dreams.
Say what?
It was their dream. They were eating
Eat
their
their-
dreams.
Yeah.
Not a
not the
good experience,
people.
let me tell you.
No.
yes,
Wait,
it-
it happened to you,
it-
darling?
It did.
Yeah, it's brief.
I'm so sorry.
Whatever.
No, not whatever. I didn't. There's the crypt dust is what we call it, yes. But a hag I do not know of in their machinations, and feeding it to people I did not know about either. They are shipping it off site to a location. We think we might know where it is. It's kept secret for the most part, except for the drivers. And the family said, or has told me at least, it's being used for weapons research.
Yes. We stopped the hag, and
Well-
that's how we got involved in all of the Orishire politics.
What was...
Well, that's good that you stopped it, but it's quite disturbing.
So
Fine, yes.
there was also Dalmas Parksite in the soil
Oh, yes,
in the
that
town
whole
we just
thing.
left.
Delma's Clarksite, what does
Pretty
that have to do
sure.
with it?
They were interfering with the rituals to make a thunderpad.
And you think that the Haven Snouts did that too?
There was
Yeah.
also the shadow assassin things
But
pouring,
yeah,
that were going to be pouring out of the little bakery as well.
Shadow Assassin?
invisible stalkers.
That's
And
what
you
they were.
tracked that back here too.
It was the same place the hag was at.
Apparently we don't know as much as we thought then. And you can see that he truly looks flummoxed right now, as does Fesvi. Fesvi looks a little more like deep lost in thought, contemplative, but she just kind of absently nods as she's thinking.
And Matilda says hi, by the way.
Matilda?
Hmm.
Is she involved in all this somehow?
Sort of.
She helped us.
Good. There's probably not a safer person in Orshire for you to have stumbled into, but I haven't spoke to her for some time because they were watching me intently, and I haven't been able to even leave Vinzor for about a year. So, is she all right? Is she doing okay?
She's Sonny's girlfriend now.
Oh, congratulations. She's
Uh,
a wonderful woman.
Thank you.
Not to pour salt into an open wound, but Sykes also
Sykes.
Sykes also says hello.
What is that bitch up to?
I mean, she was drinking in a tavern very nicely.
Sure she was.
Do we?
She's a spicy one.
Who has the hag's ring? Do you have the hag's ring?
I do have the hag's ring. I-
You have?
yes, I take it out of a pocket.
He reaches over and grabs it and takes a look at it, and Seconds later, Fesfi, without saying anything, snatches it out of his hand and goes, "I'm better to look at it anyway." And she grabs it and steps aside and like looks over and just like whistles softly under her breath. And Giovanni like just shakes his head and wipes at his face. "This is all very surprising. The corpse dust is being harvested for some time, and as far as we know, they're trying to use it as a magical gunpowder. Something that would overcome the weakness of weapons like mine that made them nearly obsolete in the wars because they're so easily countered by magic. That's at least the lie that they've fed us. I assume it is a lie now. Maybe they were using it for this hag or other things.
Perhaps it's not exclusive.
They could be doing many things with it."
Why the party? The gala?
"What do you mean?"
What's the point of it?
"The point of it is for them to make friends. Every single year they've managed to charm someone at that party. It might not be an entire nation like Kor, Cardathia or something, but they start to make friends and find others with similar ideals to their own, and they want to extend their reach so that if they do master this weapon and can launch a full-scale campaign against Orishire or another place and become a dominant power in the world, they want friends."
So, sorry.
You know who would make a great friend to the Haven Snouts, who they should definitely get to know?
The Blue Flames.
Precisely.
I
We then
assume
get close to them.
that was your plan all along.
I mean, it changed to him, but, you know, I mean, either way,
Oh, the prince?
one way or the other, we have a pretty good way to get a good meeting with the whole family.
Honestly, we were mostly trying to get your attention because you figured you would have a better idea of what the hell was going on here than we did.
Did you get my note?
What note?
Decree, sire, decree!
No, I
That's
didn't.
me!
I didn't get it. And he like looks back at Fesfi, and Fesfi like screws her face up and is like, "I left it on his desk. I thought he would have seen it. I didn't know who you were either, so I didn't hand deliver it to him personally."
You were... That was all because you thought he had read a note.
Well, I mean, the Gaspard was performing in the town, and you kept making it seem like you wanted someone specifically to leave, and I guess it's a little vain, but I thought it was me, and so I just figured, you know, like...
Cree, I didn't know you were here.
Yeah, I get
Otherwise, yes. Otherwise, I would have handled it differently. The information that I got from my friend was concerned about this group in general. I wasn't given specific details. I was given a list of names. I recognized Sonny and Cass. I didn't recognize anyone else. Well,
Oh,
I
so
recognized, to
Sonny
be
and
fair,
Cass,
I
yeah.
recognized the family name of the Blue Flames. But I didn't recognize the other names. So, I was just told to make sure that you stayed safe. And if you had walked into the palace in disguises, their wards would have wiped them off instantaneously, and you would have been standing butt naked in front of a bunch of racists that would have killed you. So that's the reason that I wanted you out of town.
Mine too?
Yes, yours too.
That's annoying.
When I tell you they spare no expense with their wards and their protections, Cree, I mean it. They use things that royalty uses in the biggest countries in the world. And even then, some of these defenses I've never experienced or heard of, and neither has Fesfi. The fact that they can make a changeling revert to their actual natural state is almost unheard of. So if you had walked in, you all would have been standing there in your true forms, would have been caught immediately and most likely killed. It wasn't some sort of... I don't even know. It was keeping you safe.
Oh, please. The Blue Flames using disguises to fit in a town is just a tactic that rich people use. We would have gotten ourselves out of that fine.
Half-Pint would have been fine, most likely, but the rest of you, who are not Blue Flames and are not an half-orc, would be very suspicious and would have been arrested, if not harmed on the spot. Especially a changeling trying to sneak into a very, very important function.
Is there a way to get past the words?
Of course there's ways to get past them. They're for guests, which is the path you were all taking. We're guests, and you would all have to go through these wards. Fesfi, myself, there's many ways in there, of course, but you wouldn't have known about them, so...
So how do we get in with you?
I'm still not sure that's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea, and Festy and I have a date for this. So, I have to go anyway.
Giovanni like turns slightly on the floor to like look up at the tiefling who just like deadpan just looks back down at him and shrugs. Like,
Do you see that I pull out a tiny Gaspard plushie and change into Gaspard? Do you see this? The things I've had to go through. Blue Flames, we're cool now, but if you want to talk about endangering my life, they had me do some stuff that was really interesting.
we will
Look,
talk about
you
that.
pushed. We didn't push you. We offered you fair compensation. None of that was questionable.
They're an
It was
intern.
reasonable, but my life was in jeopardy many times, and frankly, I have memories that. Look, the point is, we're heroes now.
An action figure.
Get it right, a plushie.
I have absolutely by this point whipped out my my plushie as well, and I'm just like, look.
You see him just like seriously like look at each of the plushies, it's like, what is going on kind of expression on his face. Like,
You kill a hag and the town gets very happy about it.
I mean, yes, killing a hag is not something that goes without praise, but I've never seen that fast of a support spring up for heroes in the city before. You definitely have some flair, apparently, still.
People really hate the Haven Snouts.
That is true, especially if you're in Orishire. Look, it's not like I don't want help. The problem is this has been years in the making of getting this.
What?
Did you fail that stealth check?
Maybe?
Crack open the tea, come on.
I'm-
Get the tea.
The kombucha was hard to open, so like Vander should have screwed it on easier.
Now it's
Continue with
now
this
it's Vander's
important
fault.
family discussion.
This has been years in the making of getting to the point where I might have a shot, or hopefully the both of us have a shot, to take them out.
Years in the making.
Yes.
I have spent years myself. I believe, actually, the exact same amount of time that you've spent. I am not leaving.
I mean, some of it was doing other things, to be fair.
Yes, I had to survive. Thank you for reminding.
No, I meant that I was doing other jobs.
Well, that's not exactly comforting.
Neither is knowing that you were apparently in very dangerous situations with other individuals, and he kind of like looks at Half Pint.
You taught me a lot of two-people cons.
And she's the one that you picked for the two people cons?
No, she was my backup plan, essentially, when I didn't have a second person.
I see.
That's not what I meant. But still, we're very good friends.
They're best friends.
Best friends.
All right. I left you in that alley many years ago against my better judgment to try and make sure you had the best chance at some life that wasn't an execution in an alley from me or someone else. I don't want you to now suffer that sort of fate years later.
Well, let me ask you a question. As far as your whole binding is concerned, is Cree de Castell dead?
As far as they're concerned, yes.
No problem. I mean, hell, they're the only people who ever really figured it out. Frankly, that was a weakness on my part.
I don't follow. What do you mean?
They're wonderful people and I adore them very much, alright? It's not my normal way
That
to
is-
be.
No, that is quite obvious. What I'm talking about, though, is what do you mean about it mattering that you're dead or not? I just don't want you to actually die.
You have a few boxes left to check off. We'll check them off.
We are working towards the same thing. It would probably be best if we helped in a way that does not ruin your plans.
There might be a synergistic way, perhaps, that Fesfi and I could use some help to finish our job. The other consideration is that if we succeed, the city plunges into chaos. And do you have a way out of here if you are associated with this?
Perhaps if we have a timetable, we could let Orishire know and they can make sure that they send sufficient aid.
They don't have an army. They have
Never really asked about that,
I
to be
mean,
fair.
They have the city force like
Tony's,
most
though,
cities.
we could get away pretty quickly.
not if they close the gates.
Do you have a
Um,
wizard with you? Teleportation?
No, but I have my gun. That'll
Sonny?
make someone open the gate, right?
Just myself.
We have a cult. Well, we're making a cult.
We are not expanding my cult.
But you have a cult.
Back
But there's
home?
an entire church in that one town.
I think it is gone now. It was only supposed to last a few hours.
But look, they've made figures of Heta. They have embraced.
Yes, you remember. You remember Heta, yes?
And Giovanni nods and just makes like the strangest expression yet at the stuffed octopus. You have had a very interesting life.
I'm actually pretty good at marketing, it turns out.
Oh, you designed those?
Well, not those, but the scheme around it was kind of my fault.
I'm proud. That's a very good
But
scheme.
we had to get Matilda's attention when she was helping us, so they decided the best way to do that was make a picture of Heta in the sky.
I whiffed out the
Oh God,
drawing
this again.
that she made for the crest.
Really?
And she's like, this is Heta too, which
Is-
is why this is our symbol.
Hora? What is that?
I don't
It's
know.
the
I haven't actually asked
shortening
about that yet.
of our nickname,
That's your adventuring name.
Heroes of Orishire.
I thought it said
Hora.
hero. It says horror.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
that's what it says.
the-
I was a little tearing up at the time.
Because you abbreviate Orshire or ORA, so that's
Hora.
Hora, right?
Hora.
Heroes of Orshire.
It's okay.
It sounds untoward.
It does sound untoward,
But
but
is it inaccurate?
Yes.
And I just like glare at Sonny.
I have a girlfriend.
Frankly, celibate for the past years. I mean, I didn't just say that in front of Giovanni, did I?
You just said that.
I changed into a much smaller guest part.
Hard pivot from this conversation.
Yes, we have more serious things to talk about.
Yes. Is there a way? Because, evil royal families like to do this, they might be super cliche.
yes.
Does their castle or keep or whatever connect to the mines?
No. It is one of the most secure fortresses that I have ever seen. When I tell you that they are prepared for an assassination, they are prepared. They've nearly caught Fesfi and myself a handful of times, and we have not done anything out of line.
How many are there?
How many are there what?
At the Haven Snouts.
There's many of them in the keep. What, 27 at
Yeah,
this
but
point?
who's in charge? Who's Daddy Haven's now?
Joraman Havensnout is the father, Dabaver is the mother. They are the main targets, but what our bond is for, what we were told to do by our handlers, is to kill Joraman Dabavar, Cremindi, Jorgafor, and Soveros, which are the oldest children. 2 brothers, 1 sister. The rest of the family is inconsequential and most likely will never have the brains, let alone the following, to raise anything up from the ashes if we take care of those 5.
Let's see.
Joraman is a powerful wizard. Dabavar is a powerful wizard as well. They are very paranoid, and they are very connected when it comes to the things that they need to secure a place like the keep. The only thing that we've had going for us in the past few weeks is the city seems to be suffering from some sort of malaise where the adventurers training at these academies have started to drop out at an alarming rate, which we've never seen before. Many people grow sick of the Haven Snouts doctrine once they realize what this place actually is, but many don't. And many just want a warm bed, meals, and a place to stay, and promises of being heroes one day. But for some reason, many of the academy recruits have started to just walk out in the night, or they don't show up for class and stay in their room and say that there's no point and end up getting beaten or flogged or thrown into slavery because of it, because they won't repay their debt with actual service. And it's starting to chip away at the Haven Stouts' plans and their confidence.
Perhaps there's somebody who's helping our cause.
If there is, Fesvi and I haven't figured out who it is yet.
No
But-
such wards in the Adventuring Academy, are there?
No, those wards are very particular, expensive, and hard to come by. They're only at the keep.
Why don't we just assassinate the head of the family?
The heads
They're
of
the one with all the connections.
That's what we're trying to do and have been for years. Jorman and Dabavar never leave the keep, and they are always surrounded by their bodyguards, which is something I have been trying to become. And he once again gestures over at the badge. I am their head of security, which is quite ironic given my
But
past.
you can't get near them?
I cannot get within 10 feet of them, and their personal bodyguards are summoned constructs, which they can ensure are loyal.
Oh, that's boring. So I can't look like one.
No. There's no fun in any of this job, Creed.
We can just go in as us. And I mean, I could probably just blow my gun off and it'll look like an accident in the middle of a party.
Is Half Pint's gun, like, where is the gun right now? I assume it's in full view?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, as you say gun again, Giovanni, like, looks and finally, like, really notices the beautiful, intricate stock that doesn't have a barrel in it with all of the arcane etchings and runes with the slight glow to it and the spinning little, like, ley crystal above it. And he just fixates and, like, disassociates on it for a second. That's one of the blue flame rifles, isn't it?
Yes, I am a blue flame.
Obviously. It doesn't mean that you have access to everything that they have. You're not a gnome. I assume that you're like one of their aides or something.
Nope.
Racist! No! Mommy and Papa sent me off to take care of some business and I got sidetracked with this.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're an adopted child.
Yes!
I see.
They also didn't tell her that at 10 she's an adult. So
No,
now she's
not-
40 and she
No,
thinks she's an adult.
But we're
40.
getting sidetracked.
Yes,
40.
did you just suggest accidentally shooting the heads of the gala at their gala? Like,
Yeah,
what?
it looked like it was an accident during like a shot trick or something.
I think it would still end very poorly for you and the rest of us.
Very much so.
No, Mummy will bail me out. I don't think the rest. I mean, like that guy's the guy without the power.
I don't
Who's
think that
gonna
there's
stand
going to
up
be.
after that?
There's not going to be
Especially if they
bailing
blow
out.
their hands off.
There's not going to be bailing out of anyone. If they're killed, it's going to descend into chaos, and there's going to become a power vacuum, and heads will roll in every direction. No one's getting arrested when this happens, if this happens.
Well, in
We
a
just
lot
have to get out quickly.
Honestly, as much as I'm thinking everyone in this room might hate the idea of judging based on their reactions, that weapon might actually be a good idea.
I mean,
Shooting them from a distance, it has more range than gunpowder. I know that at least from the rumors that I've heard about it, right?
didn't you just get the runes upgraded?
Yeah, it's extra long shot now.
It can punch through most basic barriers, I assume, right?
She's kind of only shot at the sky since we've
Well,
a tree.
in front of you, I've only shot in the sky.
She did obliterate the tree on the way here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
missed the
something,
one
I
cool thing.
suppose. Can it penetrate
Very good
magical
shot.
barriers is the question.
Can it?
Sorry, say that again?
Can it penetrate magical barriers? I'm assuming since it's not gunpowder based, it must have more of a kick.
Yeah, it does. I'm not sure how close I'd have to be because I haven't tested this on a magical barrier yet, but I know that we do market them.
I mean, that's something then. As crude as it is, that might be one of the safest way. Their bodyguards, the summoned constructs are terrifying. I think, and let me stress emphasis on think, that myself and Fessy might be able to take them. Maybe.
I mean, in the plays, there's always some sort of way to, wrench control of constructs and such. I mean, maybe we just have to look into that.
There's a crown that Joraman wears that controls the constructs. If you could get it off his head, you could.
Half-Pint, you think you can shoot off his head?
No head, no crown.
We're thinking about it.
No, sorry, I froze for a second. I couldn't hear anything you were saying. Yeah, no. I mean, I could try to shoot it off his head. I can't guarantee that it won't go through his head.
I mean, at that point, it's two birds with one shot. If you
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
If you were able to decapitate him in a manner that also dislodged the crown from any sort of physical connected body, the constructs, as far as I know, would cease to function or function at limited capacity, and we would have a much better chance.
What about I take out the wand of dispel magic? I mean, there any chance that we could just dispel it?
Oh, the constructs?
The crown?
No, not in the slightest.
Why do I never?
What if I just grab it off their head?
Again, you
and
can't get within...
Shake their hand.
They don't shake hands. You can't get within 10
Don't
feet of them.
shake it.
What if
That
I
is an affront.
was one of them?
They do not let their own children touch them anymore.
So I take it then that they don't have any moral weaknesses that we could play up.
Define moral weaknesses, Cass.
Is it like drugs?
I was more thinking of the flesh.
Like whores?
Cass
Well,
is just
because
gonna
you
go
have a
black
dirty
red.
mind.
I see that you haven't changed at all.
I've learned a lot of things.
Yes, but apparently your reactions are still the same. It's adorable.
We're working on it.
Oh.
But valid. Shut up, Sonny. But valid question. That's not an option.
I do not believe Jorman and Dabiver have that sort of a weakness. They do consume drugs in private. Again, I have not seen another living creature touch them in the years that I have worked with them because they are so paranoid. Again, with reason.
And are all of the kids in lockstep with their parents, or is there like a black sheep of the family who's like, if we made a power vacuum, they would want to step up into it?
Many of the children would meet that requirement, but most of them don't have any innate power and simply leech off their family and don't have skills or means of sway with anyone of power. The three that we're interested in, the two brothers and the sister, you wouldn't be able to convince them. As far as I know, you wouldn't be able to. Otherwise, we would have tried.
Would they be on the floor at this gala?
Yes. The way that it's planned right now is there's going to be a grand reception at the palace tonight where the Haven Snouts, specifically the ones that we're interested in, the 5 of them, will oversee everyone entering the castle from one of their towers. They have a grand area set up in one of the towers that overlooks the entrance that is shielded, where they can wave down at everyone that comes through. Once the keep is filled with guests, it is closed and locked, and the party begins. And eventually, after everyone's had their fill of...
They're out on a balcony, like waving at people.
Shielded balcony, yes.
Perfect. I can just cop a shot at them from the balcony.
It's shielded.
Well, that's why we have the gun.
Her weapon,
So,
if your weapon can, I mean, it's a gamble. I don't know exactly what shields they have on it, and it's not your everyday mage shield spell in the slightest. It's
Does
probably...
anybody have like a really good shield spell
I'm sorry?
on them right now? Well, I mean, can anybody cast shield right now? Because then I could try to shoot it and we could see what the damage is.
Oh my god!
No.
I do have a shield,
Stop it.
No.
but it is very low level.
Hold on.
I don't think it would be a good test.
So we have a whole lot of dignitaries who are going to have their own retinue of protection.
Yes.
We're going to have a very shady family.
Yes.
So if someone from said shady family were to draw blood or do something uncouth to one of the dignitaries, fine dignitaries there, while they're locked into this tower, I feel like that might be enough of a distraction to give us a little bit of an edge.
You all watched the absolute definition of fatherly pride wash over Giovanni's face as he listens to Gaspar.
And now you understand why I am the way I am.
That's a brilliant idea, darling.
So who are we assassinating at this party?
I think
Well,
we
just
have
the-
5 targets, or at least you do.
All right, but we need the distraction
Vespi-
assassination.
Vespi and I have 5 targets.
That's not an assassination. Just, I think Gaspar just
I
has to
really
make someone
do think I
angry,
could
which
make
they are
it
quite
look like
good
an
at.
accident
I don't want
if
to
it's
kill
just
anyone
one person.
particularly.
You
Right,
don't
you're right.
have to. I don't. That's what I'm saying is why this is complicated, dear Prince. Is I don't want anyone to have blood on their hands that are not the 2 of us. We are in this shitty situation because of the life Honestly, it's not even because of the life we live. We were put into this because we decided to serve our country. You have not done that.
Gaspard's my best friend, and if he wants you out of this contract, then I'm gonna help them.
How are you going to make shooting someone on a balcony look like an accident?
Chaos!
I take my gun and I just start flipping it like they do in JROTC, like just like full on flips, tossing it in the air.
So you're going to be on the ground floor and your gun's going to accidentally go off and shoot them.
At a pinpoint
But I
shot?
got this other gun, so I pull out the other gun, the one that uses gunpowder.
Yeah.
This is the one I'll do the tricks with. This is the one that I'll shoot them with after I drop it.
But it's still going to be tied to you on the ground floor.
If we did.
Only. So I think we can make this work if Gaspard pretends to be me.
And I do the trick? Okay. Gaspard takes out like a teacup and starts flipping it around and stuff and immediately drops it.
That's a teacup.
That was a very convincing performance.
I
But also,
fucked
yeah.
it up.
I think
I
that's the
can't do
goal.
that.
Yeah,
But
you're just like, oh,
you were talking about dropping it, though. I thought that was on purpose.
We make it look like I'm trying a trick, and then you drop it, and I shoot them.
We might be making this too complicated.
A little too complicated.
Perhaps, but there was something brought up that this idea, Cree, as messy as it could possibly be, and it could be messy.
They were willing to help the Haven Snouts. I don't really care.
That's the thing. Many people that come to this are not here to help the Haven Snouts. Many are here to keep an eye on them or other people that are here. In fact, I would say a large part of the delegations that come to this event every year are policing the event to make sure the Haven Snouts aren't trying something or watching the others that fall under their guise. I know at least 15 off the top of my head upstanding individuals that will be in attendance with either their own security or they themselves are a force of nature to be reckoned with that would be there and ready to act if something happens. So depending on how you do this, there will be two sides springing up in that room of the actual Haven Snouts, the few horrific people that support them that have their own power, and then the ones that oppose them. And it is going to be some sort of a bloodbath.
So what if we maybe got word to the ones who would be willing to help?
I mean, you could. That is a good idea, but the thing is, I know of them reputation-wise. Perhaps I performed for some of them before, but I don't know them in the way that I know a friend. I can't just walk up to them. If any of you somehow know these heads of states, then go for it, and that could be a
Do I
plan.
know any of the heads of state?
I mean, there's a chance. We haven't gone through a list of them, but he can go through a list. Was Vander actually raising hand? Okay.
Said treetop. Furbolgs.
Oh, I mean, there is the treetop delegation.
there's a treetop delegation.
There is.
See, we can talk to them. Treetop
Alright.
is not going to line with the Haven Snouts.
There's pretty much one from well, there's at least one, if not more, from every continent. Some of the larger cities have them, some of the smaller cities might, but I can get you an invite list within an hour or two if you want to peruse it and see if you do know anyone to talk to. We have a very
Yeah, that would be. That'd be useful.
we have a very limited time though with how the day is already slipping away and this is in the evening if you want to get a hold of these individuals.
I mean, I can definitely get my part done. You guys can do yours.
So what I'm hearing is our plan is we are going to go. We will mingle with the people we know or think we can approach and be like, hey, something might be going down. Support us. You look like a distant cousin of the Haven Snout family. You cause chaos and Half Pint shoots Dormant.
I think it would be a safer bet if we got Half Pint up somewhere higher.
Well, we could probably do that if someone could help her get to a good firing position.
I can get her to a good firing position. I'm more concerned about her getting out. I also would say that while you could talk to them at the party, try talking to them before the party so they have time to plan themselves.
Do we want to go out the gate, or
You also, how are you going, unless you know them personally, how do you expect these people to take you seriously that this is happening and you're not some bad actor?
We're decently well-connected people, we've learned.
Then you have quite a challenge ahead of you in the next few hours of convincing any of the powerful heads of states to help you. If you're able to do that, I can get you inside the keep. I can get Half Pint, most likely, well, Thesvi can most likely get her to a good vantage point, and then you have to cause a scene, which I know you're going to be able to do. But you're going to have enough people supporting you, and you're going to have to pray that that gun breaks through their shield. It's a tall order.
It is, and we still have to worry about how we're leaving. From the keep, do you think it would be easier to reach the gates or the docks?
The docks by far. They have a private elevator down to the ocean.
I mean,
Maybe-
Vander's
maybe
pretty
us-
strong, and Vander could probably get fairly close. Would your arms stop working if you hit that shield?
If it has a disable magic effect, it'll make my arms useless.
Hmm.
Who here has ever slept in a pile of rubbish?
I mean, you know I have, but what's the point?
The dignitaries are going to have to get out. and I'm
Hesfi just
pretty sure
has
that
their hand up in the back for something. Like, take it down.
eventually they will get out. All we have to do is just hitch ride. We could hitch ride on different dignitaries.
Well,
we just have to get out of the city.
How do we get back to... We might not need to go that far. I know a captain down at the docks. This is not the first time I've met Miss Sykes.
Captain Sykes.
I
Really?
haven't met this. That's okay. Yeah, cool.
Sykes.
She trades with my village.
She's really nice.
She is. She's not nice, though.
You're just kind of sketch on ships.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
She knows that that wasn't my fault.
But
Yeah,
she shot
He
you
actually,
anyway.
he
Burner,
actually
sweat,
drowned of
labor.
natural causes that time.
That time.
Yeah.
Okay. You literally admitted to being an assassin. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I
the
was a little
assassin
skeptical when they
was.
said it. You know, like, oh, maybe it's just misunderstanding. But you literally kill people.
Under duress, Cree.
We're not saying you're evil. We're just saying it comes with a reputation.
It does, yes.
Listen, you're still a
No,
trying
the
big guy.
crooner with the sweet voice.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
it
that's
was.
not a bad name. I haven't heard that one before.
And all I'm saying is that if the docks are the simpler way out, I know a captain there who knows my people.
Sykes would be able to get you out on the Gaunt, and it would be one of the fastest fucking ships down there, so annoyingly, that would be a good plan.
What, your orb thing? Your orb thing.
Oh, yes, it keeps messing with magic.
We
That
could
could be
throw the
something we
orb
can
thing
use.
out the balcony.
The
Well,
hell is an orb
hey,
thing?
hey,
I take
was
out my
just-
crossbow.
Here,
Cree, what are you doing?
This can probably get that up there when you shoot.
It might be a good thing to have with us. I'm not certain if that would be the best way to use it. And Sonny will just go get the bag, kind of squat down over by Giovanni and open it up. Like, you have to be careful if you touch it. It does strange things to magic.
Are you human?
What?
Matilda said you like 100 years ago you knew her or something. Like, humans don't. How? No one's human. How old do you get?
I mean, I was born a human.
How old do you get?
I mean, my great grandfather is almost 100.
Oh,
You're
got
supposedly older than that.
302.
Are you an elf?
No, I'm not an elf.
Oh.
I'm
Are
a-
you cursed?
I mean, what currently is happening to me is a curse, yes, but that's not why I'm the age that I am.
Secretly a druid.
Say what?
You're secretly a druid that is immortal.
That would be quite a twist at this point in my life, but no, I'm not a druid. I am human, Cree. Just a specific type of human that isn't... I am from a very specific bloodline in Alsap that used to be connected to royalty. Well, I'm not anymore, and that bloodline isn't anymore either, but in quite the opposite stance that that nation has now. At one point, there was a section of Alsap royalty that did embrace magic, and it was said in legends that our bloodline was infused with magic, and that's why we lived longer. My mother lived to be 500 before she passed.
So if you touch the orb, would that like disrupt the magic in your blood?
All I see is a shiny orb that could be many things. What is it? Where did you find it? What is it? I'm not touching it.
We're trying to figure out exactly what it is, but I found it in the docks while we were sort of feeling out the town.
It seems powerful.
Like it.
It's
Lick it.
Don't
Don't-
look it.
Don't.
Don't lick it. You poisoned me.
yes. Strange things happen when anything remotely magical.
Have a
comes in
wizard
contact with
identify
it.
it. Have a wizard. You really need to travel with a wizard. Have a wizard identify it.
Oh, let's go buy a wizard.
There's services in the town.
We just haven't had a chance to yet because today was rather already full.
Yes, it does seem like you were quite up to a lot of things.
We could feasibly somehow.
You could have just come and found me and told me it was you.
Working for them. I thought you had a con going on. Apparently you do, but it's a lot more elaborate than I thought. I thought you would remember that I was Gaspard de Ricci last time that we saw each other.
You never use that alias around me. Why not just say Cree?
You told me not to let people know who I am.
But regardless, you could have tried to find me.
I said you would know.
Thespia's starting to snicker behind Giovanni at this point. You took quite the roundabout way.
I mean, we
next
asked, like,
time
half
I
the
will put
town
a
about it.
giant octopus in there to skywrite your name.
Hey, next time, maybe say who you are when he shows up. You could have saved everyone a few minutes of trouble.
I thought you knew.
Obviously not. I'm sorry. I'm beyond elated to see you, Cree, and to know that you're happy and that you've had such success in life, because you have. If you're surrounded by these sort of people and you've had such success as an adventurer, you truly are living the life that I really wanted you to live when I made that decision in that alley so many years ago. That doesn't erase the hurt, and I can't apologize enough for that, and it's never going to get rid of the hurt, but I am proud of you, and it does seem like you've lived a good life.
I'm fucking happy to see you two. And yes, they're great. Honestly, I've tried to run away from them about 3 times and they just keep following me, but like it worked out in the end.
Well,
You like 10 times, but
I mean, I've sworn an oath to keep you alive.
okay, I'm not gonna
Gaspard
twist my
specifically?
arm.
Partially.
Hmm.
Falls
You're
under the
not my
umbrella.
mom. You're not my mom.
I am absolutely not your mother, no.
Yeah, no. That did not work out.
Yeah, honestly, not much.
Mommy is not your mommy.
Did you ever
Huh?
find a girlfriend, Cass?
No.
She just...
Oh, the date. Oh, well, good luck.
Working. Yeah.
Oh, yes, she's quite a stoic one. Then he gets hit in the back by her knee. Mm. I don't know what happened to your mother or your father, by the way.
That's fine.
It's not fine, but I'm glad that you found me at least, even if it's for this limited amount of time, because who knows what's going to happen if we do this. I can get you the guest list within an hour. If you can peruse it, find anyone that you know, and talk to them before the party tonight, and actually promise me, show me that we have a chance at this with a few good people on our side, I'll take the risk. I'll take the risk as well, if you can do everything that he said. I'll ensure that Half Pint gets the best vantage point possible, and I will guard her with my life to get her out. The thing is, if this happens, we might be able to get you out, but you don't know about me and Gio. And we figured a long time ago that either we escape this bond with this, or we die trying.
Just so you know, we are going to get you out.
I mean, if we can make arrangements for this ship, if you two would come with us.
It is not going to be a matter of if we want to come with you, because obviously we do. To be extremely blunt, we are much more powerful than anyone in this room with how long we have lived and how many fights we have been in and scuffs we have been in. They will go for us, and we might have to insert ourselves between the escape and everyone coming after you to get you out. But we will get you out. We will also try to get out ourselves. We have no reason to want to die. But if it is now, at least killing the Haven Snouts would be a very good way to go after all these years.
You must be really good at
Calling
killing if you
you.
don't even know how to
Can we
send a
just
note.
kill them?
I'm sorry?
Who's controlling you? Can you just kill them?
No, the same people that are controlling Geo. We were in the same unit in the war.
Right. So why don't we just take them out and then you don't have to deal with the Havens now?
I would love, oh, the tortures that I would rain down upon them if I could ever do that. I have dreamed so many nights of that. The problem is we do not know who they are or where they are. Our instructions typically always come in the form of some sort of remote sending spell. The few times we have met them, it is smoke and mirrors, and we have no real evidence to go off on who they are. We have guesses, and to be fair, we have seen glimpses of who we think they are, but not enough to pin them down in this limited amount of time. Do we want to, though? Yes. Oh, yes, we do.
Okay, that's your motivation for staying alive, besides your child being here.
I mean, that is the best motivation I've had in a very long time. Ever since I left that alley, I haven't had as much motivation. But Fesvy's right. These people are very powerful. Not the Haven Snouts who are, but the people that are pulling the strings on us little puppets. They seem to have an immense level of power.
Yes, everything is great and super important, yada, yada, yada. You go get us the list. We will talk here. We'll figure out our plan. We'll get the thing. We have, what, 4 hours?
I think when you had gotten back to the inn and stuff, it was about a little past noon, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little past noon, so you have about 6 hours, but yeah.
6 hours?
Yeah.
And, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it done.
Right.
Giovanni slowly unfurls himself and stands up to his full height and kind of brushes his pants off, looks at you silently for a moment, and then just walks over and tries to give you a hug.
Cree does the... Yeah, fine.
So he wraps you in a hug, and based on the fact that you shrunk your height, picks you up off the ground with your feet dangling in the air with his
As
like
they
6'2".
lift me, I grow into the floor. And it starts off reluctantly, but like I hug like tighter than I've ever hugged anybody before.
He buries his head into your shoulder for a second, and the two get to spend a moment hugging, and you smell the very familiar smell of houndstooth and different sorts of spices, like allspice, that are the smells that you kind of associate with him when you were younger, and he just holds you in that hug for a very long time, and then eventually pulls away with a bit of a shudder and adjusts himself and looks around the room. I'll have Fesvy swing by with the list soon. I need to get back and keep appearances up with not only the Haven Snouts, but the delegates. The spell in here is only going to last another 10 minutes or so, so be careful. I don't think you're being followed from what I know.
Just by you and your friends, yes.
Well, despite Fesvy. Fesvy's the only one that's following you, and it's because we were asked to make sure you were safe.
Who asked you?
Kovita, if you know her.
Ah, yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, we are acquainted.
She's an old drinking buddy, and she let me know that you were coming through her own means, and she just said to keep these friends of hers safe, and I owe that old woman more than I care to explain.
It's kind of her fault I found you.
Kovita sent you this way?
No, she just let it slip that she knew you, and
Oh.
Matilda made it obvious.
Well, maybe that'll even the score a little bit more with her. I'll get you the list as soon as possible. I'll plan to meet back here around at least 5 o'clock, so we have some time to strategize before the party, and
Alright.
hopefully by then you've made some connections.
I think I'll go to the docks and see if I can arrange that ship for us.
I can have Sykes come by if you want.
I don't know
Oh,
if he needs to
Next
come
to
here,
leave
but
the middle. Yeah.
if I can see what, if anything, can be arranged with her.
All right, so you don't want me to send for her?
It might be best if you're not directly involved.
Well, it wouldn't be me. It'd be one of my...
You know what I mean, though.
All right, fine. I mean, as much as Sykes and I hate each other, when push comes to shove, we actually get the job done. But if you want to go down there, feel free. But I need to go. Any other questions? Anything else I can do for you?
No, here's your coat. Be safe, and Cass will kiss him on the cheek.
But he does that, like, the shoulders slump a little bit, and it's like the relaxed, like, kind of chuckle, and he's like, thanks, Cass, and he takes the coat and throws it back on, and he looks over at Gaspard and just pauses for a second, reaches over and ruffles your hair, and then turns around and walks out of the room. Fesvy lingers for a moment and says, I'll try and make it well under an hour, and I'll be nearby because I am supposed to be keeping an eye on you. So if any of the guards see me, they're not going to question it like they question seeing him down here. So if you have other needs in that time, please ask me. But I should keep my distance until the party.
All right.
Are you all right? Anything else I can provide?
No.
I'm sorry I didn't deliver the letter. I just didn't know, Cree.
It's fine.
They were playing it a little close to their chest.
Understandably so. I can't say that if I was in the same situation that I would feel that way. The question that I wanted to ask you, though, is if I could unlock some of those memories, would you be interested, or do you want me to leave what you have?
Leave it out right now?
It's an offer that's on the table, so just think about it.
Sure, when this is resolved, we'll come back to that.
Obviously, but just think about it, if only to ease my guilty conscience. I'll be back. And she turns around and walks out of the room and closes the door behind her, and you are all left in the silence afterwards. The whole room, by the way, has a faint, like, chalky dust to it now after the little sachet that Giovanni threw. And you're left in the room.
That's a lot.
It went so well.
A little awkward to start with. I wonder why.
You're right. I could have been more forward. I'm learning how to open up to people. I'm not very good at it yet. And also, there's a lot of people trying to fucking kill us.
That was
That's
implied in the note.
If I were to cause a big scene, can you subtly make me invisible so I can change forms and no one know it's obviously the person that tried to kill someone else?
I think I could use it on you, yes.
Oh, cool. This will work. This will be good. Yeah.
I have total confidence in this plan.
I was an actor like 2 months ago.
You're still an actor, Gaspard.
That's the
Intern.
problem. That's the problem.
I feel you've moved up in your internship.
Yeah.
You're no longer just fetching coffee.
Yeah, no, I killed a hag.
You contributed to it.
I was there.
I mean, I think we would have had a bit more trouble dealing with it if not for you, so...
Yeah, I was conscious some of the time.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, the wand and everything do.
True. I was... Yeah, I think things like that I can do. Yeah.
Alright. And Sonya will just take one of the scrolls and turn herself back into looking human instead of shark.
Okay. Are you guys going to do anything in the time where Fesfi is out fetching that list for you, now that you have a bit of time alone?
One last thing, and I turn back into Kree. Half Pint, so we've been friends for a while, and honestly, like, majority of our friendship, where I was Gaspard Derici, I mean, our friendship was, like, economically important and such, so I want you to know that, like, we're friends now. I don't know how to say this. I'm Cree de Castel, and it's nice to officially be your friend.
Oh, okay. No, I can call you Free.
Cool. Okay.
It is nice to finally meet you, Kree.
Yeah, that's the one rule I had, but yeah, no, it's good.
I do remember you the last time you broke it, and I still appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. That was, yeah, bucket list done. Okay, let's go. Let's die.
A little more faith.
No one is dying tonight.
Oh, right. That would break your oath. That adds something to my
Yes.
bucket list.
No one in this room.
Yes.
Well, yeah, no, I will definitely be killing someone.
No, that is fine. That's part of the agenda.
And on that note, I think I'm going to go make sure our ship is ready.
We should probably get ready for the party so that way we can then have maximum time to go around. And it'll help us look way more official when we approach Treetop.
I am terrified on which sibling it's going to be.
I need a picture of one of the Haven Snouts.
That's a good question.
Somewhere?
Yeah, probably. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Probably. Well, wouldn't Giovanni know a way to, like, I guess he could draw Or like a magic drawer.
Easy?
He's an incredibly talented artist.
She's an incredibly talented artist, okay? I instantly
Well,
become
there you
half
go.
pint talking about
Try it.
Cardia.
Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern, where we have mommy issues and daddy issues in the same group.
Just like real life. Oh.
I have only the happiest home life, thank you.
I'm jealous.
Bonnie loves her parents. Just know what's wrong with the rest of you.
All right. So you're going to head out then, Sonia, to the docks?
Yeah, she's just gonna see if she can track down Sykes and go from there.
Okay. So Sonia's going to head out. From the Brave Caterpillar, it sounds like all of you are going to get dressed up in the meantime and like prepare for the party in a way. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what does that look like? How is everybody going to get themselves fancy for this event? Because you all just traveled here on the long road from Orishire, 2 days, but still, and none of you really have any formal attire with you. Are we just doing this with disguise self spells? Like, what are you thinking to get yourself ready? Shut up, Changeling. You're
I was
fine.
gonna say, I
You're
have
fine.
costumes.
I don't want to hear it from you. I'm looking at the other people.
How many costumes do I have?
Well, I mean,
Yes.
Sonny has like all of Matilda's clothes, which are very fancy.
I'm
All
gonna
of
take a
Matilda's
nice
clothes?
Well, I
bath.
mean, Sonny's wardrobe right now is all from Matilda's
I
closet.
suppose, yeah. A couple things, yeah.
Question.
Yes?
How big is FC?
Oh, how big is Fesfi?
Yeah, how tall is she? Is she like
She's actually-
is she similar in size to me is really the question I'm asking.
Wait, how tall is Half Pint?
I think I said 6'5". Let me double check.
Oh no, Fesfi's 5'1".
Oh, no,
We
she's too
finally
small.
met somebody who's not
Okay.
a gnome that's shorter than Sonny.
Yep, Fesfi is on the smaller side for sure.
Cass is going to run out and do a quick shopping trip.
Okay.
I have,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that too.
Okay.
in addition to Matilda's outfit for Sonia, I have a costume, which I assume would be like pretty fancy, and I have fine clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay.
You guys want to use those?
Actually, I think I have fine clothes on me too.
You might have.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
What is the height for the figure in which you have fine clothes for?
I've been Gaspard for the past 2 years, so I'd say like 5'6", 5'7".
There are plenty of shops out in the square with the Brave Caterpillar and the other taverns, so you think you could do a shopping trip. Probably find some things that would fit easily.
Oh yeah, I have 500 gold.
Yes, we have a lot more. Cool, we're going shopping.
Shopping trip, shopping episode, then murder.
Yeah.
It's
gotta
important to
shop
look your best for the murder, apparently.
Yes. All right, so the way that we're going to do this is everybody except Sonic gets to go on a shopping trip, and the Vinzor Market Square that the Brave Caterpillar is located in. And if you're just looking for fine clothing, you're going to have a large selection, especially with the visitors that are in town right now and all the dignitaries streaming through the streets. Many booths and carts that normally wouldn't be set up in Vinzor have come to Vinzor just for this event, so they can try and sell some extra jewelry or a dress or two extra than they normally would where they would typically be set up in nearby towns. So if you want it, you can most likely find it. So if you want to specifically shop for something, we can go through it. If you're just looking for fine clothes, you can deduct 5 gold pieces for each one of you for anything that you might find that is just cosmetic.
Looking for like the gaudiest, like cotillion dress type deal that I can find that is in the family colors of red and blue.
Honestly, considering the current environment, easy enough to find.
Okay, and I want to make sure that it is like ridiculously long. There's a train, everything, so I have a really like grand entrance.
The old human lady that is running the booth is a little bit confused, but happy to accommodate for another 5 gold for just that alteration, because it's so hard, and she'll have it done in 30 minutes for you. So she can make it extra gaudy and sew a train on it for you.
Perfect.
Okay.
I want to kidnap a Haven Snout. Which I will say to everybody, like before Sonny leaves, I want to kidnap a Haven Snout.
That
Still
might
worried
be
about
hard.
the bounty?
What? No, I want to be able to be them at the party without fear of somebody being like,
You
but I
want
just
to
saw you.
conk one of them.
Yeah, you know, just stow
Okay.
them away somewhere for a little bit.
I don't know if we have enough information to do that.
Well, that's kind of the point. I need to meet them. I need to talk to them, you know, kind of like feel what they're like. You know, what kind of asshole are you?
I hate to say this, that may be something to do at the party.
I agree.
Yeah.
I say we can play it up at the party, interact with them.
Get them really drunk, stick them in a privy.
I can play up the prince thing.
I mean, I don't know.
What do you think a prince is?
I know what a prince is. I don't like being one.
I just don't know what that meant.
It meant there's a lot of pressure being in positions of power, which you wouldn't really understand, Gus.
I have been a lot of powerful people, okay? No, I guess we could try to take one of them out. It's just, are they gonna mingle? What
Nope.
if they don't mingle?
They might mingle. They did say something about them going to be mingling.
Just
on
not
the
the
floor.
heads.
The kids will.
Right, I
Yeah.
mean, that's who I want. I want to kidnap one of the idiots, but
Yeah.
Make them really drunk.
One of them may be single and ready to mingle.
I could play that up, or you could play
You
it
would
up. You're
think
probably
they're
better
ready,
with people
ready
that
to.
Black cutter of a ship, and it stands out in the dock.
audio.
uh-oh,
Uh-oh,
audio.
we lost audio in the middle of the stream?
Good. I thought it was just me. I was very upset.
Weird.
Can't. Yeah, sorry.
And then a dragon swoops
I'm
in.
I'm just waiting for it to come back all of a sudden, so nobody say anything salacious.
It sounds like Windows did something stupid.
Oh, really? Did it actually go out stream, or are you just trying to get us to say things?
I was just gonna start talking about my political views.
I was about to say all sorts of funny things that I shouldn't say, so that's great that they actually told us that that it was back. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
They were just trying to get it out of you.
All right, so then you were able to go back and okay, so it was the engineering room, messing with the warp core.
Gotcha.
So it's quick work to go back to the docks, take the elevator down, and locate the Gaunt. When you get there, it looks like they're in the middle of preparations for eventually leaving, which could be sooner than later, as the decks are full of different sorts of barrels and a lot of boxes of some sort of fabric kind of fluttering in the wind. Multicolored, looks like it could just be something that they're taking along with other supplies, but it kind of stands out on the ship with the ship being so stark black against everything else. And it doesn't take long to find Sykes, who is sitting on one of the railings of the ship near the gantries that connect to the dock. And she kind of just tilts her head from her perch as she sees you like walking up in the distance.
I fully expect Sykes to both see me and recognize me again, because
Yeah.
it's happened every time she's
No, and
around
that's
here.
why she's like tilting her head, like, why are you down here again after having gotten the letter? from me?"
And this time I'm just actually walking straight to the ship.
Yeah, the crew, everybody's gonna like raise an eyebrow, but you can just walk right up onto the Gaunt, and she's just going to follow you the entire time until you get within speaking distance. She doesn't have her captain's hat on. All her clothing is like the same, but like some of the extra buttons are popped. It's a little more relaxed. Her boots are off, And she just like follows you the whole time, and eventually when you're closer, did you remember another letter?
Not a letter, actually. Something came up. Could we speak privately for a moment?
I mean, I was about to go to sleep myself, but sure. She spins around off the side and hops onto the deck and then just kind of gestures. She picks her boots up, throws them over her shoulders and gestures, and leads you over to a side room, not kind of where you would expect the captain's quarter to be, but like it almost looks like a supply closet. And she goes in there, and inside is a decently sized room that is very plush on the inside, doesn't have any windows, but it looks like some sort of a private study. And she tosses her boots near the door and walks over to sit in the kind of a leather chair by a red wood desk that is filled with papers and all sorts of weird trinkets. And she looks over at you and just kind of gestures like, surprise me.
Oh, this is nicer than I expected. I was hoping we could book passage with you. I'm not sure when you're planning to leave, but
Well, we were going to leave this evening.
that is actually perfect if you don't mind perhaps delaying an hour or two.
What's the catch?
The catch is my friends and I will likely be leaving very quickly.
How much trouble is this going to be for me and the Gon?
Ideally, no one should know we come to your ship. We just, we're making arrangements to come down from the Keep's elevator.
The Keep's elevator.
Yes.
Is the Keep going to be on fire when you come down?
I can't promise it will not be.
Oh, you've gotten yourself involved in something then?
Yes, we found what we were looking for.
Really? How was that?
Interesting. Learned a few things.
I would be happy to let you book passage, as we're no friends of those assholes. I can't help you if you get to the Gaunt, you can leave with us, but I can't risk the lives of the men and women that work for me, or the health of my ship, fighting for you. But if you
No.
get to the ship, you're welcome.
I would not ask either from you, even. I know it is not nearly enough to say the gods will take care of them, but that's not even in the question.
Also 1,000 gold.
I think we can make that arrangement.
Okay. Do you want us to meet you near that elevator? The docks don't actually run over there, but we can get the Gaunt close.
Yes, and I know your ship. I can make sure everyone else knows which direction to go once we are down
I mean,
here.
she stands out. I think most people are going to know her with a description, and that's on purpose. But we can be waiting, and we'll give you until midnight.
That's all I can ask.
All right. I expect payment by the time that you get on the ship then. We will not be aiding in any sort of fighting, but if you get to the Gaunt within that time frame, you can leave with us.
You'll have your gold.
All right. Well, then I wish you luck with whatever harebrained scheme that man talked you into.
It should be interesting.
I only wish that I had a front row seat to it, but I think I'm just going to hear the fireworks down here if they go off, so hopefully you all live to tell the tale and can entertain me and the crew on the journey.
Yes, one of my friends is a much better storyteller than I am. Perhaps they would be willing to entertain you with the details.
Well, I hope so. Well, good luck then, and perhaps we'll see you tonight.
Perhaps we shall.
All right. So you head directly back after that?
Yep, I don't think there's anything else she wants to spend a whole lot of time on, because I really, without seeing the delegate list especially, it's like there's probably nobody on there that she would have any reason to know.
Okay. So it only takes you guys about 30 minutes for your shopping trip. So by the time that you four get back to your room at the Brave Caterpillar, Thespie's actually already inside the room, and she's sitting on one of the couches and is drinking a cup of the tea that you had left like brewing there. And she just is like waiting for you all to come in. So once you come in, she like finishes the drink that she's in the middle of and looks like she just polished off a cup. And gestures over at the table in the middle of the room, and there's multiple copies of the dignitary list. And these look like they are printed on very heavy canvas with gold filigree and silver ink, and they are incredibly gaudy. And she kind of coughs and goes, "Ah, I've been waiting for you, and I got as many as I could, so hopefully that's enough for you to find someone you know." And then she just kind of like looks at the dress that Half Pint is like dragging in with her and just like tilts her head and just, "Ugh. I see you've found outfits."
Where's my homunculus? I need help with this train.
I do not believe the family has returned it yet.
You're gonna regret that.
They might, but they have not returned it to the guards, so.
I'm going to, I guess, take the time to build a little cannon
Mm-hmm.
that I want to follow me
Okay.
and just carry my train behind me. We'll make it a.
You're going to use your artificer homunculus to carry your train. I love it.
We'll make it a protector. So, protector cannon.
I like it. Okay, yeah, you can take the time that's needed to activate that. That's awesome. All right, so the four of you that are in the room, you have access to the dignitary list. So there are names that you recognize on the list, typically just from world news and from history lessons, current events, stuff like that. Sani rejoins you a little bit after you start perusing the list, and you are correct. Sani doesn't recognize anybody in the list except what I just said, like you've heard some of these names in your travels kind of thing. They're not broken into delegations either. It's just like a very long internal, probably, guest list. You recognize a few of the names particularly, but they're not family names. But they're Furbog names, but you don't, you're like, wait, these people were like part of like the royal like families, but they weren't, you know, part of your family or anything like that. But you don't see any of your family names on there.
Interesting.
Yeah. Cass, you think you've heard of some of them, don't know them directly, and you don't recognize any of those names. You think one or two of the elves on there seem familiar, but nothing too big.
I will take them.
Say what?
I'll take them.
You'll take them. What, the names?
The elves?
I will go address them.
Oh, is what
But
you're
yes, I
saying.
will take their names and try and find where they're staying and go talk to them.
So, as this is a general list, it's pretty easy for most people to pinpoint the elven names on there. You don't know if they're actually from Treetop, though.
Cool.
I'll point out which ones are though. But I know.
Okay, yeah.
These ones.
Okay. Well, so the thing is, the only people from Treetop are the Furbogs that you recognize. You recognize 3 Furbog names from Treetop on there, and those would be Gervasis, Porico, and Lubin. Lubin, Porico, and Gervasius.
Oh
And
my
those are the Furbog from Treetop that the prince recognizes. There are a handful of elvish names on there, but they could be from anywhere. And as far as either of you know, they are not from Treetop.
But you said they seemed kind of familiar.
Kind of familiar, but not particularly tied to Treetop, just famous elves.
Yeah, I'll still take their names.
Okay. Well, you have a Tindermollen on there. You have a Lindner and a Karfa. Because these are all last names, technically, that are on there. Because they're
Okay.
honorable this, honorable that. So,
Could you give me those Furbog names again?
yeah. The first one is Gervasis, Gervasius.
G-E-R
Gervasis. I know, they just got to be complicated, don't they?
V-E-S.
Porico, P-O-R-I-C-O.
Oh, so-
I know, P-O-R-I-C-O.
P-O-R-I-C-O. Okay.
And the last one is Lubin, which is Lupin, but swap the P for a B. So
Ah,
L-U-B.
that one's easy.
Okay.
Yep. They've become our best friends.
I mean, they could be, for sure. Half Pint recognizes one name in particular. Otherwise, everybody else, you have the same experience of like, yeah, I know of them for different reasons, but you actually know someone on the list. And the name is Mervyn Inkspot.
No, I hate her. I don't know. What
But-
is she doing here?
But Mervin, or well, sorry, it says Ink Spot. It doesn't say Mervin, but you see the name Ink Spot on there.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely. I'm gonna make a scene.
What's going on though?
You remember me telling you about me murdering someone in Nightmare Land?
Sort of, yes.
Hard to forget.
Okay, well, that was my old, tutor, whose last name is Inkspot, and he's not a nice guy.
So maybe we don't want to make ourselves known to him because he could be part of the group that is supporting them.
Well, if he is, I'm gonna shoot him too.
That's fair, but we don't talk to him beforehand.
Oh no, I will. I need to know why he's there.
Maybe what? No.
Maybe we ensure that everything else goes smoothly before we take up personal grievances. I mean, there's always tomorrow.
Is there that guy's sneaky?
What?
He's super sneaky. He's a snake in the grass. He's a terrible human.
Why are we not just burning down this entire city? Never mind.
We would probably die if we tried.
Never mind.
Is Anomaly on this list?
Anomaly is on the list, yes.
Anomaly agreed to come. That's super rare.
I mean, it's a guest list. It's an internal guest list of people that invites were sent to, you can assume. If these people are actually here, who knows? But you see all the heroes of Arlia listed on there. You don't know if they're actually going to show their faces because nobody except Anomaly has really been seen since those days. So, they could be, but their names are all on here, so.
Is my mommy's name on there?
No. Nope.
That's probably good.
Sadly, yeah, probably good, but I mean, still sadly not. All right, so you have a
I will
few.
keep my grievances to myself.
So you have
I will
a few
act
names.
polite. Mommy has taught me how to be polite, even when I hate people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do that.
If only there was a blue flame on there. All right, so you have a couple names, so you have some time to think of your strategy. If you're going to go try and track these people down, what are you going to do?
Go track him down. Make
Okay.
ourselves known.
Well, I think that's probably a good time for our break because we've been playing for a little bit and we have about an hour left in the show tonight, and hopefully we get to see the beginnings of this scheme being executed by this party. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. Should be between 5 and 10 minutes, so it's a great time for you to go get some snacks and hydrate as well, because that's what we're going to be doing over here. So we'll be back in just a little bit, continue the story, and this will give the players a little bit of time to think about what they're going to do as they approach the impending gala that they're supposed to attempt in high-level assassination at, and we'll see how good they do. So
It'll be fine.
have a good break, and we'll be right back.
We're gonna do great. I'm assassin.
Wait. Live, just make sure Ray knows when they come out.
Okay. And we're back.
Just ask Ray about their bowel movement.
I mean, that would be really awkward. Oh, now they get us unfiltered.
Let's take care of business before we deal with personal grievances. I can just hear in my head. Can I at least shoot his hand?
Oh, no.
Cut them off. Just cut off his hands. I'm just gonna cut off his hands.
Yeah,
Would that really
sorry.
disrupt the party? I mean, it's just a little bit of dismemberment.
Hands. Nobody needs both hands.
Music is gone, but can you hear us, Nerdy Fox?
You did hear the conversation, right, Sarah?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, just so you know, audio is still working.
I heard you.
Ask us anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the AMA section of the show.
Ask Gaspard or Sonia or Sandy Pages or Cree
Definitely
or
Sandy Pages. I need more of his backstory.
We have two of the streamers that I watch were online.
I don't know if
Nitty and Mama Tops. I don't
Nitty
know.
rated us at the very start. He waited for the start of our stream.
That's
Rated
beautiful.
us.
Nice.
Yes.
How many people do they rate with?
18.
Dang.
So I don't know if Nitty is still on, but I think Mama Fox is still on. Sleepy is still on. I think
Cool.
Fox is still on.
Nitty's a video game streamer. Likes he's playing Mortuary Assistant the other night.
I almost dropped
Mortuary
my damn
assistant?
phone. Oh my gosh.
It's a hilarious game.
And I've seen somebody play it. Like I already knew.
We just had
I
somebody
knew
join
what
the
to
server.
expect.
Oh, hey.
Almost dropped my phone.
It's a hilarious game
Mama
to watch
Tots?
somebody else play. But he's also big on Dead by Daylight, which I'm probably going to get and play with him.
Nice.
I was teasing him that he needs to come game with us.
If you're in the stream right now, Mama Talks, thank you for joining Discord. We'll say hi to you there.
Yes, welcome to the server.
Welcome.
But yeah, anybody still tune in and listening? If you've got questions or comments you want to make to the players, this is the moment where their full attention is on you.
A valid question for any one of the characters is just why? No context needed. We understand.
Especially for Gaspard.
Unfortunately, we almost never have an answer to that question.
Yes.
Is
It's always
Giovanni
about-
hot?
Yeah.
Giovanni, if you missed a previous episode, would fall into the category of daddy.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, he falls into
I
the
mean,
category.
there's a reason two of the party members have slept with him in their backstories.
Qualifies.
Yes. Sleepy wants to know if Giovanni.
Giovanni is very much so a daddy, and unfortunately, the way that he was introduced into the scene is because of their child being a little shit. And normally, he is full of charm, and usually his shirt is half unbuttoned, and he is the very definition of the swashbuckling bard that is a daddy.
He is
As I make the whole
definitely
studio laugh. What is that?
he is definitely a DILF, like deep,
Definitely a daddy.
deep closeted lesbian cast.
I mean,
Sorry,
I
But
believe-
still, like I'm interested.
It's not
I will
really,
explore this.
not really a DILF considering you did that.
Dad, I once wanted to.
No, dad, I
Good acronym for that.
more of a daddy that I did, a DID if you would.
Been there, dad, that.
Been there, dad that. Yes. It's much easier to do this voice when I don't have to be on stream. Daddy. Okay, I'm going away to get a drink.
You have a drink on the desk.
Shut up.
Excuse me.
I need a moment.
That's right. You walk away.
Giovanni's issue wasn't his charm; it was the insolence. That's why he was introduced in the way he was.
As you can tell, very fun childhood. We got to go to taverns. Some kids go to Disney World. Cree went to the underbelly of society. I don't know why I'm looking at the camera.
I mean, it's not helping anything right now.
No, it's true.
What was your inspiration for Sonny?
Sonny is actually a character I originally made for a completely different role-playing game called Flying Circus. It's written by a woman named Erica Chappell. It's kind of a Studio Ghibli adventures in post-apocalyptic being a biplane mercenary. And one of the backgrounds are the Fishers, which are a not horrendously racist take on the idea of Shadow over Innsmouth, where a community has gotten tied in with deep sea eldritch powers. So, like, you're kind of weird, but there's nothing actually evil about you. The game I made her for never actually happened, and she was just kind of a character concept that was sitting in the ether, not getting used. When this game was spinning up, it's like, you know what? I really want to play her still.
We just didn't want to surprise him. And Sleepy, you can probably kiss Giovanni. He apparently doesn't make that very difficult. I will say, though, apparently there's already a line forming a queue, so you should probably take a number.
Yeah, it goes Vander, then Half Pint, then you.
than taking all comers.
Shadow, I think we were calling Giovanni a daddy. I mean, there's many daddies in the campaign, to be completely honest, but currently, that is the one that we're referring to.
I'm not aware of any other daddies beyond myself at this point.
I mean, y'all haven't met Shark Daddy yet, so.
I suppose,
Or no
but
daddy.
the question is, yes, you can definitely kiss me, as can most characters, as long as you're nice and not a horrible person.
Why
Otherwise-
have gender roles when you can have pizza rolls?
Yeah,
I love that.
Nerdy
I like
Fox, that's a smart take. I like
that is a smart take. Say what? Okay.
Also, what is a
don't wanna
non-binary
fight
daddy?
over
No, I'm
kissing
good.
this
Thank you,
guy,
Doc.
but like I'll duke it out if Vander does it. I swear to God.
Daddy.
And look, rolling the conversation back for a second, the only reason Sonny still doesn't consider him a dilf is she has a girlfriend now.
Or it wasn't that good, and you're like, I'll pass on that.
Can we all stop insulting my
I mean,
you know-
you keep thinking that.
Yeah, I think
As long as
you're not into it, Cass.
look, I'm just saying.
non-B? I like
This
that.
this this daddy is accepting of everyone, and I'm just saying, Sonny, you and your girlfriend same time.
I have to talk to her about that.
Your girlfriend might be into it. I gotta stop doing the voice immediately after Kira walks away.
Listen, Giovanni was a very important part of Cass understanding her sexuality.
God, I still love that moment of like, you can do that?
That's an option.
Listen, they had some really nice foreplay, and then it got to the main event, and it was like, nah.
We have 2 brain cell between the entire party.
Yes.
Yes. You can tell from our
I will absolutely shoot hands off.
I feel like Sonny has
You
2
should
brain
be
cells,
aware.
and the rest of us are passing one around.
That's
That
true.
tracks, that tracks.
Yeah.
No,
That
like,
fight is very smart, but she's also very aggressive. I don't. She's a simple creature.
no, I mean, it's been my joke, like, backstage since the start of the campaign that one of my goals with Sonny is that she's a very grounded individual who kind of can be relied on, but the ground she's standing on is just at a weird slant compared to where everyone else is, so every now and then she makes completely the wrong choice.
Does it not follow proper geometry?
I mean, you don't need such things in some places.
True. Okay, so Sonny is Cthulhu.
No, she worships,
Yeah.
like, a whole pantheon of weird Cthulhu things.
So Heta is Cthulhu.
And
Maybe.
Kree is going to make sure
Maybe
that
Cthulhu.
everyone knows the word of Cthulhu.
Definitely what we should be doing.
Cree, why are you doing
Maybe
this?
make another
I'm not
player.
asking you to spread my religion.
Listen, you made a convert, your mission is successful.
Kree doesn't even believe in it. They're just like, I don't know, people seem to jump in. It seems fun.
It's not even a way to get gold either because Cree doesn't want to have a big pile of gold.
I'm not asking for tithes. Wait, why do you need gold? What's the point? You guys just sit around and tell stories.
You might not be asking for tithes, but Gasparda is on your behalf.
People keep handing Gaspard money. They're like, I don't, Sonny, here you go.
Where do you keep finding this?
Actually, Sonny still has like over 900 gold of Kree's, and Kree completely forgot about it.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
there's
that gold
no...
is paying for the escape ship.
I figured.
Perfect. We're down the end. Mike's on. Or no?
It is,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
talking-
we're supposed to
talking
tell
to the
you.
audience.
Oh, hi.
Some of them are asking us questions, otherwise they just get to listen to us be crazy.
Ren, you're he. We share a brain cell. Don't forget.
You weren't here for the conversation about there being a queue.
Yeah, there's a whole queue. It goes Vander,
Who gets to
Halfling,
kiss Giovanni?
I'll have to kiss Giovanni.
No, the line to kiss Giovanni.
Hey guys,
Who's in first?
this is the weirdest
You.
family reunion
Oh,
I've
I'm in
ever
first.
been.
Oh, I thought that
because Vander then has to do it.
Yeah, Halfpine said they'll jump on the bandwagon. There is no bandwagon yet.
There's a bandwagon. You
Gaspard,
tried
my
to kiss him, and Sonny and Cass have both kissed him.
That's how it works. If someone gets to kiss somebody, I get to kiss them too.
Is that all?
Is that canon now?
Yeah, and Cass is not interested in another go, and Sonny has a girlfriend that she's not going to cheat on.
But that also means, Vander, you've got to get off your butt and do it because Half Pint is waiting impatiently in line behind you.
Oh my goodness. Vander is too sweet to do that.
You said it was going to happen in that scene, and it didn't.
Oh man. Okay, better pucker up soon, Giovanni.
I don't know if that was. I feel like that was a threat between players. Like,
It was more of a threat between players, but look at your Lord.
I don't think you're going to get me to
Look at that.
pucker up with that kind of an attitude. You have to try harder than that to get these lips.
It's okay.
In this
He
situation,
would
was
do
that?
his best to genuinely woo a man.
Well, that's very sweet. And I said you have to try harder to get these lips. Something along those lines. I don't know.
No,
Something a
Half
daddy
Pint
would say.
I think I had to
has
try
zero
that hard.
finesse, so when she comes out, she's just going at it.
It's not ADHD, it's ADOLS.
There, that is very much yes. To be fair, there are no visible windows in the studio, which is a very good thing.
All right, degenerates.
That's another reason we're going to have to board up the windows in the new place.
Why?
So that we don't lose half the crew to watching traffic.
Wait, guys, it really is a squirrel! It's a squirrel!
I mean, I think you'd lose like 90% of the cast probably, and the DM, and just yeah, and like everybody's just gonna be staring at the window, being like, "Squirrel, squirrel,
Yeah,
squirrel."
my name is Gaspar Dorici, and that's a heckin' doggo!
Oh,
Like,
look, one
one
guy
thing
is back.
comes out, right?
Oh my god, I almost just sprayed the whole studio in Powerade. Oh, good
You know, I
god.
didn't realize my wife was the one playing Gaspard, because that's something she would do.
Oh,
Somebody's going to be on full-time spray bottle duty.
yeah.
Like shooting tech. Hey, you
Oh, look.
back on the keyboard.
What was that? Oh, look, a heckin' doggo. All right, I don't know what you people are being so weird about, and like all these deep voices and blushing and flirting and stuff, but we're here to play D&D. So, is everybody ready to play D&D?
Heck yeah.
I was born ready.
Born ready to play D&D.
I almost just asked, where's Half
So
Pint?
that means I can just hit transition and you should just.
Half Pint is
Was this...
not there.
There's just the empty screen. Yep.
That wasn't an invitation to leave?
I am looking for my water bottle. Okay, there we go.
Staying hydrated is very important, especially when I make so many of you thirsty.
Oh,
My God.
good line.
You love it, Ray. It is a good joke.
Everybody
Thank you very
else
much.
has to do it, then Half Pint has to do it.
Plus, you don't get to see. Who knows? I bet you're not going to see Giovanni that much more after
Shadow-
he dies heroically.
And this is
gonna
why
die,
Sonny
so-
drinks so much every time they stop in a tavern.
Shadow, I like to think that our campaign is delinquents and deviants. So.
That's not what as the DM. That's not what I set out for their campaign to be. But DMs are never truly in control of their campaigns, and they have
Dungeons
turned
and
it into
Bosch
that
really works.
against my will.
We're gonna
So,
save the world, but you're gonna be uncomfortable about it.
that is a very good. Yep. Nope. Yep. Gee. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because
that's-
we're playing real complex characters.
Yeah.
Me.
The one that used to yell at people that yells at everybody for canoodling is the one that's canoodling.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I can see.
Soon with
It's all
Giovanni.
that deep canoodling shame that you hold inside.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He's shy about it. He won't admit it.
And I mean, technically, because our audio is live, you can just flip the cameras on whenever you want.
Actually,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
We're
you
gonna
could.
take a break from this break to go back to the stream.
Yeah.
Transition, you guys.
Okay. Oh no, we're live. Back. That'll make that interesting cutting that for YouTube. Don't know what we're gonna do for YouTube if we're gonna include the break audio or not, but
Probably not on like the main videos, but
got
there's
a
no
lo-
reason they couldn't be saved up to be like side content.
I know. But do we want that sort of dirty language on YouTube?
We have a lot of time to think
Why not?
about it.
We already have an R-rated stream.
Yeah,
I
there's
suppose.
no way.
I suppose. But
It's our new short between the transitions.
Ooh, I like
Did
it.
you not hear my smut
I mean, they take a
puns?
while,
Because my
so-
smut puns made it pretty clear I didn't care what
Oh.
other people thought.
you were smooth. Okay. Okay. Well,
What?
welcome back officially from the break. But this is the first time that we have done what we just did, which is leave the mics on so we can just talk to the chat through. And that was actually really, really fun. So we should make that a thing in the future of just chit-chatting with everybody as we're going back and forth and getting snacks and hydrating and stuff like that. So hope you enjoyed the silliness from all of them. And we're going to go ahead and hop back in right where we left off. So you all have the list that you've been perusing. You have a couple ideas of dignitaries that you might be able to strike up conversations with, perhaps. And you have secured your regal formal wear for tonight. So, what is your plan of attack?
I think we're gonna go visit some furbolgs.
Visit some furbolgs.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just going to try and find the furbog delegation from Treetop.
Mhm.
Okay. What about everybody else?
Yeah, are we all
keeping
going?
an eye out for anybody from the Ink Spot family.
If you want to.
I don't think it'll be much help speaking with delegates, but I have an idea of my own.
Shadow makes sense, Hydrate.
Hydrate. Well, thank you so much. I mean, there's a couple drops of liquid in this. Does that count?
I offered to give
No.
you a
You
drink.
have a whole liquid death right there.
I wasn't. Thanks for betraying me. Didn't want to have to open another one. Players. They
Chat,
keep
we
me
would
honest.
never lie to you.
See, they would be honest, apparently.
Well, yeah, we're not the DM.
Exactly.
Oh, ow. Well, then.
It's half the fun of DMing is, obfuscating things for your players.
I suppose.
My plan was to kidnap a Haven Snout, so if anybody wants me to come with, I don't exactly
You're
have
coming
a-
with.
Yes.
Oh,
Dragging
okay,
you
okay.
along.
After all, our prince needs a herald.
Oh yeah, that was like hours ago. It feels like way longer. Yeah.
We can stick to that play.
How do I address you again? You are Lord Malavander?
Malavander.
Malavander? All right.
Discomfort. I love it, right? So it sounds like you're going together then,
Yeah, I'm going with you guys.
as the herald.
I think we should enter as one party, and then I can just kind of head off to shoot some heads off.
What?
Gosh.
We're not there yet.
Not so fast.
No. I mean, once we get there, I can head off to shoot some heads off.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to meet people. We'll reconvene in the room, meet up with Fesby, and then go to a party.
Can we retcon that I bought a... No, I guess I would have to buy it now. I'll be right back. I go to buy a bugle.
When you guys go out, you'll be able to pick one up very easily
Oh,
just
yeah.
in the square. Yeah, you can obtain a bugle. Yes, it would be 30 silver, I think.
I
Yes.
hand them a gold.
I mean, you can make their day. Yeah,
This
definitely.
is easier.
Yep. So you all have a plan then? Says Fesfi, who's been sitting there the entire time.
Oh, you're still here.
I did not leave. No,
You want to come talk to furbolgs with us?
Several plans.
not particularly, because it would tie myself and the Haven Snouts to the whole thing, which I think you'd want to avoid. You know, the giant symbol on my armor and all that.
And our escape's been arranged if we take the lift that you and Giovanni were going to get us to.
The
The bo-
private dock lift, yes.
Yes, the ship will be waiting.
Well, that's something then. There is a possible way out, so I will stay here then and keep an eye on your things and just the general area to see if you're being spied on. But
I'll be staying in the room for now.
oh, you're not going with them?
I don't think I'd be able to help those conversations much, but there's something else I can do. I'm going to see if I can pull one of my god's attention here.
That sounds good.
Actually, Thefty, before we head out,
Yes.
do you recognize this at all? And I'll pull the little etching out and hand it over to her of the symbol that's in my arms.
And she grabs it and looks at it and like there's confusion, and then she's like, oh, and spins it around and like angles it up. It's one of the light sources through the window and just sits there for a moment and goes, yes, I know exactly what this is. What does it mean to you?
I'll pop my arm off. Sure.
So Vander, who has these beautiful porcelain prosthetic arms, you pop one of them off. And where is the symbol located?
It's right where it would meet the shoulder joint.
Okay. And have you thought of a description of it yourself?
I think I wrote it down here. Or
Just for extra flavor. If you don't have it easy accessible, it's totally fine. But thought it was one of the things that we figured out on what the connection symbol looked like.
it was here it is. It has MNC, and
Mhm.
it was like a barrel with tilted over gold inside.
Okay. Yeah, it's a It's a symbol of a very, very specific order. Were you part of them? Did they build this for you? I assume not, since you were asking what it is.
I just wanted to see if you recognized it. It's my mother's.
The symbol is your mother's? Well, then she's someone that is connected to some interesting individuals and are very powerful. It's not a symbol that you see common. And she reaches to hand it back and goes, "This is the symbol of the Mertz Monastery, and they are a monastery that typically never has more than 15 individuals in it. And their monastery is known for mixing arcane and martial arts together, and often embedding it into runes or magical artifacts that are used for fighting. So I assume both your arms were made by the Mertz Monastery."
Yes.
Then they are truly magnificent. I mean, not only are they beautiful, but they must possess a lot of power, do they not?
They let me do everything that arms would normally do.
With a little bit extra, perhaps enchantments, or...
I'm not too sure. I've only ever used them for what I typically do as a monk.
It might have... It could have potential for other things that have not been unlocked or enabled yet with magic if that symbol is on there. So perhaps something to keep an eye out for or ask somebody about in the future. That's not my specialty, but if you happen to find them, I'm sure there's secrets about those appendages that you might not know yet.
Well, thank you. I actually did not know that.
My pleasure. I don't know the members of it or anything, but I've heard the stories of it myself. I think the monastery is in the mountains of Ikiev, as far as I know. Bottom left-hand corner on your map of Akora.
Okay.
It's
We'll
okay.
keep it.
ECY. ECY.
How the heck? Okay, there we go.
ETH, I believe. Don't have the map, or Ekiev. I don't have the map open myself because the DM forgot her laptop and is using an iPad, which is working. It has a lot of really cool stickers on it, but is not the same as having all my lore notes ready.
No, not particularly.
Yeah, it is somewhere in the mountains in Ikiev, as far as I know. But if your mother is one of them, maybe that gives you something to go off of.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, of course. Anything else before you all head out? All right. So, you know that you want to try and talk to the Furbog delegation from Treetop. How are you going to find them?
Ask around.
Solid.
Start with the really nice girl at one of the bars who's been doing guest services.
What about the nice girl that's in your room?
You can start there. Oh my god, the DM is just so sassy today. That's me, darling.
Yes.
We needed to go find some furbolgs. Do you know where they are?
Is that the ones you're trying to involve in your scheme?
To start.
All right. Most of the individuals on that list have already arrived some time ago, so they could be anywhere in the city. But there is a specific academy building that was converted or is converted every year for housing, and its extra security is put on it, and it is a bit more lavish than the other ones, and it is nearby. You could start there and see what delegates you bump into, and perhaps ask around there. We don't track them inside the city, or at least I'm not responsible for tracking them, but...
We are just so special that you got to track us.
Yeah, I suppose. More like Giovanni was told to protect you, and I work with Giovanni.
Okay, and so that's probably where we would find the elves.
Yes, it was the first Wizards Academy, and it's about half a mile up the hill. The building is a bright white like everything in the town, but the symbol outside is a staff and a wand crossed on a blue background with stars. And the signage for the academy has been replaced with, I don't remember exactly what they put up this year, but it's something to do with diplomat quarters, I believe. It's not, you're going to easily find it if you look for it.
Okay.
Do you know if anybody from the ink spots came?
I know the name is one I saw on the list, yes. I'm not familiar with them myself.
Any gnomes?
I saw a few gnomes. I actually saw a group of gnomes around there yesterday. I don't know who they were with, but there was 5 of them.
I quickly sketch out the pink spot symbol.
Okay.
Just like hand it over to her. Does this look familiar?
No, not this one in particular. Not that I could see. No.
Okay.
Anything else I can help you with? Can I have more of this tea, by the way, while you're gone? It's really good.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, thank you. And she goes to pour herself another pot. Anything else that you're going to ask Vespi before you leave?
I think that's it. for
Okay.
us.
All right. Well, you
I
guys...
guess the only thing that I really care about is how high I can get in this building. Can you just get me to like the highest point?
Yeah, she finishes pouring out and takes a sip. I can get you about halfway up. Any higher than that, and it's a little too tricky. But I can get you up to one of the lower guard towers, which is just a little bit above, at least in height, from where they'll be on the kind of outcropping. It's going to be on the other side of the keep, but we will be a little bit higher looking down on their ledge that juts out from their balcony. I'd say the shot is going to be about 200... Well, no, that was from the corner when we were thinking about swinging in on a rope. It's about 305 yards, I think, maybe less,
I think I can do that.
from where we'd be to them, but that's a rough estimate, so...
All right. I think I can handle that. We'll see what happens. Okay. I guess I need to hear that these are bad people.
The Haven Snouts?
Yeah. I mean, like, it seems like they're racist or whatever, but, like, I want to make sure, because everybody's kind of dancing around it.
I mean, I would refer back to the story that you told us with the Hagen making people eat corpse dust, but if you want to know what I've encountered in my time here is, yes, they are racist. The things that they do because of that are often hidden, and they are quite horrible. The only reason that I am here is because Giovanni personally vouches for me and keeps me safe, despite me being his elder and outranking him, which is a sore spot. But if anyone comes to this city, even seeking the adventuring academy that is not human or elf, they will turn them away and often then send members of the academies out to attack them, rob them of all their possessions, and most often kill them on the roads outside of Vinzor. They have no love for anyone that isn't the same that they are, and after they suffered defeat in Orishire so many years ago, they want to take it back, burn it to the ground, and rebuild it just like they did up here in Vinzor. Beyond that, they have machinations to take over. They'd prefer the world, but at least this continent, and they're going to do that with that corpse dust, most likely. I didn't think they'd feed it to people, but whatever weird necromantic weapon they expect to create with that dust is a horrific thing, at least in my eyes. They're the worst people that I know.
Just, you gotta have a motive for shooting someone.
I agree with that, yes. I don't think you should dole out death without such motives and quite careful consideration, so...
You wanted to cut off Tallwind's hands for evil horticulture.
Lose their hands. Sticky fingers lose their fingers.
Evil horticulture?
Long story.
Okay.
Don't tell that to... Never mind.
But there was the whole Hague thing and everything you noticed. I thought that would be enough to convince you of how horrible these people are.
I mean, I'm quite convinced that
Yeah.
something
Not
needs
like
to happen
directly.
here.
I can't tie that directly to them. I've seen their symbol about. I haven't seen these people doing anything to anybody specifically, right? Like we've postulated. There's a lot of circumstance here that I think is important, but it's not necessarily like clear-cut, foolproof evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take I've seen it around here. It seems pretty bad, and everybody keeps kind of alluding to the fact that these people are bad, so...
I mean, they were ordering their men to desecrate graves for whatever this weapon is, too. We saw that ourselves.
The body, it's already gone. It's just going to be reabsorbed. What's the difference?
There are things you don't do to bodies. It can.
Depends on your religion, but it is not a good thing typically, no. But I promise you, they are the most evil people that I have encountered in war and after that. And considering that Giovanni and I feel that the people that put this curse on us are some of the most evil people that could exist from what we know of them, even they want the Haven Snouts wiped out, which is saying something.
Okay.
Let's go find some furbolgs.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys are going to
Best
head
of
out.
luck.
Thank you.
All right.
you.
So the four of you head out and head towards the rough directions that were given to head up the hill towards the converted academy that has been turned into housing for all the dignitaries, diplomats, dignitaries, fancy people. And on the way there, you can easily obtain and buy the bugle for the 1 gold that you so kindly give the old elvish lady that is hauling a cart full of instruments.
One less gold that Kree has to carry around.
Yes, exactly. It's so heavy. I have 500 gold.
Yep. So now
Just
you're
complaining the whole way.
now you're 1 lighter. So it's pretty easy to follow the rough directions that Fesfi gave, especially considering that the symbol is still there on the outside of the academy when you reach this place, and that there are so many people that just don't look like they belong in Vinzor because they are outsiders. They are not human. They are not just human or elf. They are of all species, all types, and they are wearing very colorful outfits, even if they're not in their full regal attire for this evening yet. So when you get there, the academy that's been converted, on the outside, the white paint that is on it has flaked off, and you can start seeing bits of the kind of sky and dark navy blue that the building used to be painted, and it looks like some of the walls might have started caving in certain spots. But they have brushed it up as best they can, and they've put in a brand new landscaping like around the entire thing. It's a giant, very square building with 2 guard towers out in front. Looks like there used to be walls around it that were torn down, and there's more of a decorative moat around it. There's very long lines of carriages that are all lined up and tied up outside. There's an actual set of stables that looks like it was constructed really hastily a couple weeks ago next to it. And there are people coming and going that it's a breath of fresh air to be here almost, because it feels like it's not oppressive like the rest of Vinzor. So you see a little bit of everything, and you see representation from all over the globe, and it's even more diverse in this one little pocket of Vinzor than it was in Orishire or any other city that you've been in. And a lot of you might just even spend a moment taking in the sheer amount of color and variety in everything. And there's a lot of servants running around, a lot of aides, a lot of people that are definitely security in some way or another, that are keeping an eye on things and that have weapons boldly visible. This one giant, like half giant, even has a glowing with kind of like faint blue flames battle axe on their back, and they're just standing up against a wall. But there's a lot of people around, and they're all talking to each other and or doing something. It looks like there's a lot of people streaming in and out of the building, and you can see people up in the windows of the entire thing too. So it's a full house here. So what do you do?
Walk on up.
Do what?
Walk on up.
Walk on up? Okay. Well, this place is just swarming with people, and there's no like officials here or anything. It's just pretty much the hotel for the dignitaries. So you're not going to see you see Haven Stout symbols around, and there's guards and stuff like that. But mostly it's just all these people that have come to the party tonight that are getting ready and kind of mingling in the meantime. So you don't see any furbolgs currently, but you see a smorgasbord of everything else that Akora has to offer here. So what's your approach? What are you doing? What you looking for?
Gnomes.
Say what?
Gnomes.
Make
Gnomes.
make a perception check.
That would be a 19.
19? All right.
Mhm.
So, scanning the busy plaza, you do spot one gnome that's sitting on, it looks like a barrel that had been tipped on its side, most likely some kind of meat or something that was drank the night before, like right next to the main steps when there was probably some sort of a party going on. And they're just sitting on it eating a sandwich. They're wearing a pretty fancy outfit of really like grays and silvers with a bit of like flaming red accents. They have short blue hair that's done up in like a little bun, and they're just eating a sandwich. And it looks like a younger gnomish woman. You don't recognize her.
Oh, we can't hear you.
No.
Oh,
now we hear
can.
you. We heard the no, but nothing
I'll
else.
walk over to her. Yeah, no, this is why I have to talk to the no. So I'll walk over and I'll ask her, so who are you here with? Have you met the family?
She coughs on the sandwich and has to spend a moment swallowing and looks up at you and goes, "Who are you?"
I am Half-Pint Blue Flame of the Blue Flame family. I am the adopted daughter before you say anything terrible.
I'm unfamiliar with your family. My name's Renee. What question did you have again?
Renee what? What's your last name?
Renee Winter.
Okay. Do I recognize that last name?
No, it's a common enough one. You don't know any a specific gnomish family with that name of note.
Who are you here with?
I'm here with my delegation
Or
for a very important person.
what very important person?
Is this your first time in one of these things? You don't just like typically walk up to someone and without knowing them.
I conduct business. This is how I've always conducted business. This is how Papa taught me how to conduct business. Are you questioning Mama and Papa?
Who the fuck are Mama and Papa?
Hey, who do you work for?
A very important person. Do you have business with them?
I don't know because she won't tell me who. Free.
Make a persuasion check. Please.
Oh gosh.
What was it?
Video. So I'm just gonna look over at Cree and like scream as loud as I can. Cree.
I told you my name is Sonia. Yes, I apologize for Lady Blue Flame. She is learning the ropes of commerce and trade internationally. She is a family of scientists and engineers, and they produce a lot of technology that will revolutionize the world, is basically their mission. And you, which house do you serve?
I don't serve a house. I serve an individual.
Oh, interesting. And if they were ever looking for a cutting edge above their competitors or anything like that, I'm sure they would love to have a partnership with the Blue Flames.
They have all the edge they need already. I don't think they need technology at this point.
Interesting. What sort of field are they in? I mean, just a general sense can't really be a betrayal.
This woman is eating her sandwich.
This woman is here on important business, and it would be
Eating her
rude
sandwich.
to...
Are you all together or something?
I'm just passing by with my friend.
No, all right.
We actually have gotten a little separated from our party. We're looking for the treetop furball group.
The delegation?
Yes.
I think they're around here somewhere. Actually, I think they went off to the tavern across the street. We've been on break for a little while since one of the last Haven Snouts came down and told us the formalities that we have to deal with tonight and the protocol. So there was an official meeting about an hour ago, and a lot of people dispersed to eat their lunch.
You know how it is being
Pointing in my
assisted.
head, hoping
Unfortunately,
that Cree will hear me. I'm just like, please listen, ask about Inkspot.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry for them. We're gonna go.
So
It's fine.
I will say, it is great having a connection with the Blue Flames. You never know when there's going to be opportunities for collaboration.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yep. Okay, to the tavern.
are you still staying still?
Treetop.
If you're staying still, I'm staying still.
Yeah. I look at her and I'm like, do you work for the ink spot?
No, not at all.
She
No,
would know who you were if she was working for the ink spots. I mean, frankly, most people know who you are.
Who I am. The issue is that she won't tell me who she is and who she represents.
I told you, my name's Renee Winter.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Will your benefactor be at the gala?
No, she's not going to be, but we're here in her stead just in case anything of interest comes up that is of interest to the anomalous conglomerate.
Oh, okay. You're cool then.
I mean, I'd like to think so.
You could have just said that. Like, me, I like Anomaly. I wasn't going to do anything to Anomaly.
I mean, she's not here to begin with, but we do try and keep a somewhat low profile.
Okay. Well, I won't tell anybody. And if you see anybody from the Ink Spot family, will you give me a heads up?
If I see you, I can... Sure.
Sonia sits down across from them. So, you don't have to confirm, but if I were to make an assumption about what you just divulged, why would you even attend something so, I mean, this place?
Information's information, and if you have, it pays to know. We are simply here to listen and report back in case there's anything of note that the conglomerate would want to be aware of before the rest of the world hears about it.
And you serve her directly?
You could say that, yes.
Oh, you think there's anything she needs to know about?
Yeah. So if there was going to be uneasiness at the gala of people who are not exactly a fan of the hosts, is there any chance that your benefactor would be willing to help? In any way, indirectly, of course. I would hate to...
You need to speak a little more plainly, because what you're insinuating right there is very interesting.
Haven Snouts are guilty of more than...
Obviously.
Yes, well... There may be a sort of, insurgent faction that's looking to ensure that their interests cease.
And
this
you know
day.
this personally somehow.
I've stumbled upon some juicy information.
Well, I would sure hope that it doesn't come with the loss of any sort of life or anything like that, but I'm sure that the conglomerate would like to know this sort of thing, yes.
Well, you know, sorts of things like these, it's really important to know who you can count on to ensure that there is no risk of life.
Are you asking for the conglomerate to intervene in some sort of an event that is going to take place?
To the benefit of what is right, yes.
We are watchers.
And if I was looking for someone who wasn't a watcher, perhaps you know.
In the conglomerate or just in general?
That could help out in the immediate event.
I'm afraid that I don't personally have connections with this sort of a crowd. I know the few of us that were sent here from the conglomerate. If you want, I can try and confer with them and see if we can get an answer from on high. But it's not really a guarantee of anything.
I hand her a wand of sending. Just use this, and you can contact me at any time.
Takes it and looks it over for a second and goes, I'm good now that I know you. But thank you.
I'd hate to waste this.
All
right, I come back and I walk with everybody, and I'm just like, I did a good thing.
So you and you and Half Pint go back, because are you still following along? Half Pint?
I'll linger if you.
Yeah, I'll come with.
Okay.
And I'll say I'm really sorry. I forgot that you were Sonia right now.
All good. I can change if I have to.
So as you walk away, Renee, like who just finished her sandwich, wads up the piece of like wax paper in her hands and like watches you walk away. And by the time that you get 50 feet away and happen to glance back, she's not there anymore. But definitely made a request of her.
So, half pint. There's a 50% chance that I did a very good thing, and a 50% chance that I just compromised absolutely everything, and I'm only now considering the consequences of my actions now. I got a little bit excited. And I just want you to be aware.
You're in charge, so it's fine.
What was that?
Well, you're in charge, so it's fine.
Why does everyone think I'm in charge? All right. I just clutch my bugle like I'm gonna do my job. And then meet back with you guys.
It's okay. You don't have to talk for this. It's probably better. You're not from Treetops.
Oh my gosh.
That's why you got the bugle.
So we walk into the tavern. Are there furbolgs?
So the tavern indicated across the street is one that is gaudy like the brave caterpillar, but in a different way. This one obviously is banking off the fact that this happens every single year and has decorated itself to be the most elegant tavern. So no bright colors, definitely within the silver-white color scheme of Vinzor, but tries to bill itself as a upper-class tavern. And the name of this one is the Diamond Platter. And the outside of it looks like it was freshly painted a week or two ago. There are beautiful flower arrangements hanging in all the windows and at the door frame. The door frame itself is covered in like a wreath of flowers that goes all the way around that is probably enchanted because it sparkles like it's covered with glass or glitter in the sunlight. And you see that it's a very popular location. Most of the people that you can see through the windows or eating food outside are dressed like they're getting ready for the event later tonight. Or they're wearing just very nice plain clothes before they get dressed. The individuals running the establishment on the inside are wearing incredibly formal dress, more than you've ever seen any tavern keep wear. And they are actually taking things around to the patrons on what look like diamond platters. They're probably glass or something else like that. But the way they catch the light, they definitely do have a very distinct effect. So you all see this like across the street and make your way over there. As you're making your way over there, perception check from everyone, please. Actually, I haven't had a group roll in quite a while. Too much talking.
Yeah, what the heck?
Too much role play. What was that, Sarah?
14.
14?
17?
17? 1 for Ray.
Oh!
14.
14, okay.
Nat 20.
Oh, nice.
My gosh.
Total
Okay.
23.
I'm looking as if Sonny's there. I'm like, Sonny? Like, what is your role?
Now, Sonny is probably concerning Fespi a lot right now.
No, yeah. We will
Blood
get, we
everywhere.
will get to the bloodletting and the blood ritual shortly. So for everybody else, you just kind of pick up the details of what I was just what I was just describing about the tavern, the patrons right now. You also like notice how fine the food is. Reminds you of some things that you used to have at home, and a lot of these dishes are just way too complicated, and you would never find them at any sort of a tavern or anything. So whoever's running this is definitely banking off the fact of we're going to make a lot of money off this event. And maybe they don't serve this fancy of food all the time, but some of your favorites might actually be there from childhood and stuff like that. So you see a lot of very rich marks is what you pick up from this.
I'm gripping the bugle like, not today.
Why did it have to be today?
Don't take the trays.
Yes, don't take the diamond trays. Cass, as you guys are walking over, you zero in on something interesting, though. And you see somebody standing in one of their windows. It looks like a furbog that has their hand up against their nose and there's blood on it. They are dressed very finely, though. And you pick up the sound of a few fists being thrown in the bar and a female voice letting out an incredibly nasty curse in Elvish. Like one you've only heard your mom drop about once in your life.
Is it a hate word against furbolgs?
Oh no, it's
Okay.
it's just the equivalent of a long string of curses, but it is not racially targeted
Okay.
at all. But as you pick up on that, you see a fist come out of nowhere, sock the furbog in the face, who drops, and you see two more like lunge past the window, and the whole crowd kind of reacts like with gasps and shocks as fists are thrown inside, and you see a couple couple flashes of very like basic magic, like no one's throwing fireballs or anything like that, not in this crowd. And then moments later, everything goes quiet, including the crowd outside, except a few that are like, as they're just waiting to see like what happens on the inside. And then angrily, a female elf stomps out of the bar. Looks, again with an elf, you can't really tell, but an adult female elf. She is wearing some sort of what was probably a pretty dress, probably something that was like ankle length long, probably was like emerald green with some gold and stuff. It looks like half the skirt has been ripped off, like to just above the knee. She has blood splatters all over her. She has a one of the diamond trays in her hand that's cracked, is huffing very angrily. She's very pale, typical elf. Otherwise, looks like she could be from Treetop. Both of you make a history check really quick.
Nat 20?
Jesus, you two in the nat 20s tonight.
Treetop. 12.
Treetop. You said what?
12.
12? Okay. Well, so Vander, as this individual storms out, who you have never met before, you notice that on one of her legs is a very intricate, beautiful tattoo. It was most likely done by hand. Well, it would be. It's not a magical tattoo, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's a traditional ink tattoo. But the tattoo is a very intricate recreation of like an artistic render of the xiphoid impacting the planet, and it has a lot of filigree around it. Absolutely beautiful. And it's one that typically only royals would wear. So,
Zoom.
you're zooming towards the girl that's covered in blood with the broken platter.
Xander, should we divide and conquer? I talk to her as an elf, you go talk to the furbolgs.
I would do the reverse. In this instant, she's a royal.
How do you know that? Oh my god, this is xiphoid.
And as you two are talking, like she huffs on the step for a second, wipes her face off, and goes, "What?" It like everyone looking at her and drops the platter, which shatters next to the steps, and like wipes her face off and just like gestures at the crowd. "They're assholes," and walks down. She lost her shoes and whatever was happening too, and like one of her feet actually leaves a bit of a small blood footprint for a minute or like a step or two before it stops, and she just wipes her face and like. Thankfully, people stop looking at her, and she just like it looks like she's catching her breath. But nobody's like going after her or anything like that. So
Let's both go there.
Okay. Hi.
you people are just walking up to. Okay, so you both walked up. What about Half Pint and Sonia?
I'm your herald, so I'm like looking for a cue. Like, do I announce you? I don't know what to do.
So you guys are following
When
along.
you see the blood, I'm gonna try to offer to bandage up her feet.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It was just I think it was mostly their blood that I stepped in. I don't think I'm really bleeding that much. Just case of some assholes. Did you know them? I'm sorry if you knew them.
No, we were just headed this way. You seem to maybe be from Treetop. We're from Treetop. And like, small world.
I mean,
And I like poke my ears out.
you just flip them out of the braid.
Put them back in.
Why, there's elves around here.
My family. I was born in Treetop. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, obviously the party, but like, what brings you here specifically?
I'm a representative of a city-state, and I am here because of that.
Are you part of Aether Clan?
No, what makes you think that?
Tattoo.
Fair enough. I forgot that they ripped the dress. No, I'm not part of Aether Clan. My parents were connected to it, and I love the designs and the tattoos, and it was one of the first that I happened to get in my life. But no, I'm not part of Aether Clan. I left Treetop when I was really young.
Lucky.
Okay, I'll leave it to you. I'm gonna go talk to the other ones.
No, I wouldn't. You're not
Yeah.
trying to talk to the Furbog, are you?
Yes.
Well, I broke 3 of their noses, which is going to make some of that hard. But
What even happened?
they said some very horrific things about me, my family, and elves in general, and I didn't take kindly to that after how long I've been gone. Plus, they usurped the actual royal family, if you followed the news from Treetop at all, and there was murder involved.
I'm no longer going that way. Please explain. I've been away from Treetop for a very long time.
Can we buy you a drink to get info?
I would love a drink as long as we don't drink in that pretentious fucking place.
Have you been to the Brave Caterpillar? It's really nice.
I have not been to the Brave Caterpillar. No, I wouldn't mind getting a drink.
I will link arms with her.
I start shoving the bugle into the backpack like as best I can. Like, we're not going to use this.
As they're walking away.
No!
Oh,
no! Sarah's back. It froze.
That,
Wait, no, Sarah's
No.
back. Wait, no,
is
she
that
was.
an attractive elf?
What?
Wait, what?
Is that like a mommy elf?
Oh my
Is
god.
that a mommy
Oh
elf?
God, we're going back to this.
Wait, did you ask Sonny that?
No, Sonny's not
No,
there.
I'm asking. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
asking Sonia.
Oh, okay. Well, so this elf, she's on the taller side, very very athletic build, and she is incredibly beautiful. So, what does Sonia say?
I don't have an answer for you right now. I'm still just shoving the bugle into the backpack. Like, come on, it'll fit. I have no words.
As Cass links arms, the elf awkwardly just smiles at her, but goes along with it as they turn to walk away. And as you have that little conversation, she leans back and goes, "I do have a kid, so I guess I am a mommy."
Oh my goodness.
I really
still have
apologize.
not
They're
been-
very uncouth.
I don't even know what a mommy is. Nobody will tell me this is. There's clearly a second meaning here, and it's upsetting.
She looks to you and goes, "I mean, you all seem a lot more entertaining than anyone that's in that crowd, so I'm fine with it."
Well, that's good. I mean, we are right, but they're uncouth.
Do you mind if the splotches? I can make those.
Oh, prestidigitation? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I cast that. And
Yep. All the blood just kind of evaporates off her skin and hair, and she just looks down at the dress and shakes her head.
Oh, I
and-
could do that too if you like.
No, I like it more like this, to be honest. And if I have to fight someone, it was kind of in the way, which is why I started to rip it, and then they ripped the rest of it off. So,
Fair enough. Half point. Why don't we go to the same tavern, but a different side of it?
Vander.
I think Vander and Cass have this.
Just meant like the furbolgs in there might.
Y'all can talk to the furbolgs.
Ooh.
again, wouldn't recommend it. They're bastards, but if you want to go for it, have fun.
You said they overthrew the royal family?
Yes, as far as the
Yeah,
report
you
that
probably shouldn't talk to them, Vander.
I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, don't talk to them.
I don't want to talk
I
to
would
them.
not.
I mean, if we talk to them, it wouldn't be diplomatic. So up
Exactly.
to you.
Go ahead. I actually.
I link arms with half fight. This is gonna be fun.
All right, so you guys are gonna turn around and head back that way.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, so we have Sane up in the room doing blood magic. We have you two heading back that way, and then you two take this elf back to the brave caterpillar. And then what happens there?
Get her a drink, right?
Get a drink.
Fire drink
Okay.
in the most remote private booth.
It's the brave caterpillar, and there's people performing on the stage, so you can still get that weird little corner table that you've got a couple times. But I mean, there's people nearby, but it's kind of private. You know, most privacy you're gonna get, but you can definitely go claim that table if you want.
What's her name?
You haven't asked her yet.
Okay, so hi. Introductions all around. My name's Cassiana Anastasia, of Canopy Clan. Mayor. I mean, I don't know how much you follow politics, but the mayor's my dad. What's his face? Mayor Meliama. Meliama. Is
Your old man, what's his face?
old man, what's his face? Yeah.
I'm familiar. Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of who I am, and this is
Vander.
Vander.
relation?
I want to hear your story first before I dare say, because I don't. If
You
my
haven't-
family's reputation has gone down, I'd rather not be associated.
I wouldn't say your family's reputation has gone down, sweetheart. It's more that some of them might be dead.
That's
and
what I'm concerned. Oh, yeah.
I'll be happy to tell you the whole story. Would you mind getting some ale? Any ale?
And he'll go order some.
Okay, and then you'd see her like pass her hand over her other hand, and you hear that kind of sick snap snap sound, and she probably had dislocated or something, dislocated or fractured her hand, and it looks like pretty standard divine energy that you pick up on at least. But then once the drinks are brought over, she eagerly starts to down one of the ales and has to take a second to breathe after like trying to consume half of a pint. Introductions, you said?
Yes. And you are?
Tilnir Mullen, I suppose, is how most people refer to me here. Tilnir Mullen.
Tilner Mullen.
Oh, hydrate.
Hydrate. We redeemed it this time.
Thank you, Shadow.
Thank you, Shadow. You know, at this rate, we're going to have to add like a points thing in chat to make the DM say daddy and have a point fee for it. A Giovanni button, if you will. So the Tilnir Mullen actually has a spelling if you want it, or you just want to write down the whatever is going to make you remember that, Ray.
That works.
Say what?
I just did the basic Tilner Mullen.
Tilnir Mullen. I don't like that name because it's tied to my family, which honestly you probably don't know of from Treetop, but they're rather rich and made their money back in the day when the Thunderpad was going in, and have rode that for a very long time at this point. And I've tried to distance myself from them, but the main reason that I get into this horrific event every year is because of my last name. But you can just call me Sick.
Sick. Gotcha. Well, in that case,
Yeah, she has short blue hair, by the way.
She's
That's
pretty.
relevant information.
Lavos Malavender.
I figured. I'm glad that you weren't involved in everything that went down.
Explain.
And actually, it's 10:03 now, so next week on the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern.
What? Every time someone's about to learn something about their parents, Kira's like, perfect.
It's not my fault, but that's how it played out. But yes, we'll end with you two sitting at a table with Scalia Tilnir Mullen, having some ales, and who will happily try and share some details
Perfect.
next session. But to everybody that joined us from the stream, if you were part of some of the raids tonight, you're a viewer that's been with us since the beginning, you recently found us, you found us for the first time tonight, we're really happy to have you along. I've been seeing so much fun chat scrolling by. I can't really pay attention too much as the DM, but what I've seen I've loved. Really liked that we got to chat with people over break tonight. We're going to keep doing that in the future. Please, if you haven't already, join us on our socials, Twitter, Instagram, all of them. But most importantly, in my opinion, come join us on Discord, because if we have a really active Discord, you get to see a lot of cool fan art drawn by people at this table and people in the community, like the picture of Giovanni and Gaspard confronting each other from last time.
Who doesn't love a family reunion?
Yep, it was a wonderful family reunion. You get to see pictures of Sonny, you get to see pictures of Vander, you get to see pictures of all the cast and listen to their Spotify playlists and all kinds of cool things. And if you like what Mythical Family is doing, which is in creating diverse, inclusive spaces for gamers of all types, you can also follow our other projects. We have a Gasland stream that is typically on Thursday, and we're cooking up a whole bunch of other like one-shots and hopefully some other streams in the future of different systems. And then there's just other things that we're involved in, including community projects in Reno, in Reno, Nevada, which we're hopefully going to slowly release information about once the second studio is up and running, or our new studio is up and running. But I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back Sunday, 7 p.m. PST. And in the meantime, have a really great night and have a great week. Bye.
We need just a few seconds because we are going to read something called Dork Tales.
Oh, Dork Tales, excellent. Dork Tales, you said. Not Daddy Tales. Sad. Sad. That's the name of my autobiography. Daddy Tales, yes. Daddy Tales. Ooh. Oh, I think we rated.